presentation of Dallas Cowboys football is also brought to you by Bank of America. ATM deposits are as easy as a handoff. No envelope or deposit slip required. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Papa John's, the official pizza of the Dallas Cowboys. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. And by Ford, official vehicles of the Dallas Cowboys. Ford is the best in Texas.
It's time for some Wednesday night football at Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's the fourth and final preseason game of 2012. It's the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Miami Dolphins. And we welcome you to Dallas Cowboys football. Bill Jones along with Babe Luffenberg. And if it's Dallas versus Miami, then it's got to be the playmaker himself. Michael Irvin is in the house. Hello, Michael.
Hello, guys, and thanks for having me.
And this is a game, the fourth preseason game that Babe always looked forward to, right? Jobs are on the line. Your job would be on the line, right?
My job was never on the line.
That's right.
But no, it's a lot of fun for these kids. And hey, there's a lot of pressure on them. And I always say athletes die twice. Once when they quit breathing and once when they leave their sport. And the misconception, of course, is, well, they made it through 6 weeks of a training camp or whatnot. These guys have been playing football, Michael, since the fourth grade. It's a dream come true. And for some of them, the dream's going to end tonight.
And you hear all over where, oh, this is just another fourth preseason game. Not to a bunch of these guys, man. It is do or die for everything for the last, 10, 15 years of their life as far as playing football, egging in here tonight, and they don't want that to happen.
A lot of players with their careers on the bubble tonight, and we're going to head down to the sideline now with a Farmers Insurance injury report, and Mickey Spagnola is standing by.
Guys, very few, if any, of the Cowboys starters will play tonight, but let's talk about some of the guys that would not play because of injury if they were ready for a real game tonight. Jason Witten still out with the spleen. Jay Ratliff with the high ankle sprain. They're going to check on these guys going forward to see if they'll be ready to play against the New York Giants. Also out safeties, Danny McCray and Matt Johnson. Mike Jenkins supposed to get his shoulder rechecked tomorrow by Dr. Andrews to see if he will be released to start practicing again. So those are the guys that definitely would not have played if this was a real game tonight.
All right, Mickey Spagnola will be roaming the sidelines for us. He'll be interviewing Jason Garrett, walking off the field at halftime as well as that Farmers Insurance injury report. Let's go Mickey Spagnola with that Farmers Insurance injury report, and call 1-888-96-FARMERS or visit farmers.com to find a local agent. We are insurance. We are Farmers. Joe Philbin, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins in his first season, formerly an assistant with the Green Bay Packers. 1 week away from the regular season opener against the New York Giants. This the final tune-up. Dan Carpenter has the football teed up. And Lance Dunbar, the rookie from the University of North Texas, is deep in the end zone. And won't be Dunbar, instead his teammate that fields the ball 7 yards deep in the end zone. Teddy Williams does it, and the Cowboys will take over at the 20. And Stephen McGee gets the start at quarterback as Romo and Orton rest this week. And it's a big night, Babe, for Stephen McGee.
You know, it is, and he's been here, this is his fourth year, so hard to say that this half of football that he will probably play is going to dictate whether he is still a Dallas Cowboy at the end of this week, but it's certainly a big night for him. I think a good performance will go a long way toward the Cowboys deciding to keep three quarterbacks.
And the Cowboys plan to play McGee early in this game. Rudy Carpenter will also get an opportunity. And Philip Tanner, who is ticketed as the third-string running back, gets the call and for 4 yards on first down. Cowboys starting lineup, Jeremy Parnell is starting at left tackle. Derek Dockery, the left guard. Phil Costa seeing his first action of the preseason. The only regular in there, Daniel Loper and Pat McQuiston round out the offensive line. It's Tanner and Sean Chappis in the backfield. Ogletree, Harris, and James Hanna is the tight end. 2nd and 6 for the Cowboys from their own 24-yard line. Off target intended for Kevin Ogletree. Sean Smith, the first-team defense in there for Miami for the most part.
Yeah, you could tell the play looked kind of like a bad play off the top. It just looked like there was a bad timing. Just a simple hitch route. But Ogletree and McGee certainly not on the same page, and it could have looked like a little disaster there almost.
Going the other way.
Going the other way.
Find out if McGee can tackle.
The one thing Troy would tell you is, I don't care what happens, don't fall.
But that's what happened. It appeared Ogletree slipped at the top of his stem there, coming out of his break.
Yes, he did.
Ogletree to the left side, and Dwayne Harris at the bottom of your screen. With time, McGee fires and can't come up with the connection to Ogletree that time either, and it's 4th and 6 punt time for Dallas.
And just the previous play, Ogletree did slip out, and it looked like it was off timing, but this was perfect timing. This was perfect timing, a perfect pass. Ogletree has to make that play. That's a perfect pass by McGee.
Yep, good route. Reminded me a little bit of 85, reminded me of 88.
Right.
Coming out, that comeback, you ran a couple of those.
You want that ball thrown, and you want it to hit you before that cornerback can respond to it, and that's a reaction. That's just what happened.
Yeah, not a good start for Ogletree.
That's right. And Ogletree has had a very nice preseason. Did have a drop last week, but not the way he wanted to start this night. Cowboys and Dolphins scoreless, and the Dolphins take over on offense. It's a battle of Aggie quarterbacks to start this game. Stephen McGee for Dallas, and Ryan Tannehill, the first-round draft pick, number 8 overall selection of the Miami Dolphins, is getting the start, and he will be the starting quarterback next week when Miami opens the season at Houston.
Miami 0-3 of this preseason, and they have yet to lead for a second of football.
It has not been a crisp preseason for Joe Philbin's team. But on first down, the completion, a pickup of 14 yards. And the Dolphins in business. Marlon Moore on the receiving end. Let's look at what the Cowboys have defensively. Miller Lite lineups. Tyrone Crawford, third-round pick out of Boise State. Josh Brenton, Clifton Gathers. It's Butler and Albright, the outside linebackers. Bruce Carter and Ori Lemon in the middle. The secondary, Smith, Owusu-Ansah the corners, and Silva and Butler are the safeties. First down from the 41, and dumping it out to the left side is Tannehill. And a game tackle by the Cowboys led by Victor Butler.
We were talking earlier, Michael, about going out and how you set a tone no matter whether you're a 1, a 2, a 3. And I always go back to Bill Cowher. Late in the season, they were playing what was a meaningless game because their playoff seeding had already been set, but they asked him, who are you going to play? He said, I don't know who will play, but I know how we'll play.
And that's it.
And that's when you really develop something, I think, with your team.
2nd and 13 for Tannehill. Daniel Thomas, second-year man, second-round draft pick last year out of Kansas State. Picks up about 5.
And what you're talking about, babe, is just that the tone is set for your football team. It doesn't matter who's in the uniform. It's just this is the way our football team is going to play. And that's what Bill Cowher does. That's what the great coaches have. You know, you put a San Francisco 49ers defensive third unit out here right now, and they'll be playing like it's a Super Bowl.
Third down for the Dolphins. Flags at the snap, and the pass goes incomplete. Mario Butler, number 31, a cornerback, playing some safety to start this game. He's been playing both positions and has a good shot at making the final 53-man roster.
The defense is flying around, though.
Offside by the defense. Number 57 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Robert Frazier, the referee, the replacement officials who apparently will start the season.
Yes, they will.
Oh, that's interesting. We should get into that conversation. But the pressure always works up, guys. If the young guys are playing great, then the older guys say, man, I got to stay on my job. You know, it works up.
Third and 5 yards shorter this time for the Dolphins from the 48-yard line. Tannehill making his third straight start this preseason. He was announced as the starter by Philbin a couple of weeks ago, and has his man Legadou Nene, but it goes incomplete.
I think Nene heard a little footsteps in there, Michael.
Just a little bit. And it was just a little quick post, F-post that we used to call that route. Remember that route? Comes right off a little slant down middle. But now, and I've always said this, babe, to young guys catching that ball right there. Go ahead and catch that ball in your body. What's wrong with it? You don't try to catch that ball in your hands because it's natural to kind of tense up in that moment.
And Nene, a veteran player, can't come up with it. On the 10-yard line, and Lance Dunbar calling for the fair catch, taking a couple of steps after calling for the fair catch, but not enough to draw a penalty, and the Cowboys will take over from their own 11-yard line. Stephen McGee with his second opportunity tonight. Just over 12 minutes to play in the first. Here, want to tackle your hunger? Call Papa John's right now and order the Cowboys 5-star combo large pizza and 2 liters of Pepsi for only $10.99. Papa John's, the official pizza of the Dallas Cowboys. As we welcome you back inside Cowboys Stadium. Second possession now for the Cowboys on offense. From their own 11-yard line, Stephen McGee. It's Philip Tanner, the second-year man out of Middle Tennessee and Dallas Kimball High School.
Philip Tanner made his way back onto the field last week after having a hand injury in training camp, needing surgery on it. And this is a guy, Michael, I'd like to see more of. Not necessarily at the expense of DeMarco Murray or anything, but I think he could be a good little player.
Yeah, good strong run right there, right off right tackle. You come up with 2nd and 4. Hey, coaches like that, coach.
Yeah, then you can call plays.
They like that. They like that right there.
Tanner again. Not much this time. Maybe got a yard.
So that was a little different. All right, McGee did not get. Excuse me, McGee did not get help from Ogletree on that 3rd down through a perfect ball. You come back here, you got a 3rd and 5. This is where Stephen McGee needs to get a little help around him. Whatever the play call, whether to draw a screen, somebody to get something started, get that 1st down, and then get a little offense check.
Yeah, it looks like it's more on the receivers than it is McGee at the time. Because right now, the first hitch he threw, McGee, the receiver slipped. That was a pretty good throw, and that second route was perfect.
And this is the first-team defense for the Dolphins here early in this game. Here comes Koa Misi, and McGee runs up the middle for a 1st down.
Wonderful job of spotting the blitz and just evading the blitz and going right up the field. He saw that he can reach the sticks. You watch him, see him right here. Wonderful job of recognizing it and doing just what he needs to do to get 3 more downs for his team.
McGee is a good athlete. In fact, he ran for over 1,500 yards in college at Texas A&M.
Babe, let me ask you that. Do you think that the NFL will foregoing a little accuracy for mobility at the quarterback position?
I think ultimately you got to put your foot in the ground and hit what you're aiming at. So my answer would be no.
Sean Chappis, the fullback, out to the 38.
I do think this, Michael, there is going to come a guy who runs like Michael Vick and throws it like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. That guy is going to come along at some point. Just like
he is in Green Bay.
Yeah. he's pretty.
Well, he doesn't run quite like
he can run. He can run a little.
But he's a.
But ultimately, in a drive, you still got to put your foot in the ground about 4 or 5 times, as you well know.
Yep.
There are a lot of Baylor Bear fans saying that RG3 is that guy.
We'll see. I'm still not totally sold on him as a passer, but he's got such great ability. I mean, he's a world-class speed, obviously.
On 2nd and 5, Tanner's got the 1st down. And looks like we might get a horse collar call. There's a flag down. Past the 40-yard line. Nice run by Tanner.
I will say this. Watching RG3's development is going to be a lot of fun. Being in this division, being in Washington, getting to see him twice a year.
He won't get to develop any in that 4th preseason game. They're holding him out of that game.
Yeah.
But that was a nice run.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle by the defense, number 31. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st down.
Bill, you're watching this replay, guys, and you see Tanner, he hits the hole and he's running well, but now we've been on him. There's a horse collar, but 85 over there is doing a wonderful job of blocking. Ogletree held this guy up. He's blocking. He can't weigh anything but about $160 with all of his clothes wet. But he was doing a wonderful job blocking there.
Good field position now for Dallas at the Miami 44.
Ogletree's a good guy. He really is a good guy.
He's filled out a little bit this offseason, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty on the way.
Making up for it there. Ogletree with the completion, the reception. Marshall defending again.
Yeah. And it looked like Marshall grabbed him at the end of this thing.
Holding by the offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Still 1st down.
Yeah, Marshall was trying to, looked like he almost trying to jump. He knows his fibers because he right here.
Yeah, right here. That's a penalty.
Yeah.
Anytime you see him turn the receiver, that would be called.
Yeah, but Ogletree, kudos to him because that is how football is played.
Yeah.
And so many young receivers think they're going to go down 15, 16 yards and come out of that route and catch that ball without anybody over
Contested.
him. That's how you got to catch the football in the National Football League.
You know, and that's a whole dichotomy with Ogletree there. He comes out, runs a great comeback route on the previous series and drops it wide open. Now you come back, you're being held, grabbed, and you make a great catch.
And the holding call was on the left tackle, Jeremy Parnell, who's the backup to Tyron Smith. Draw play, Dunbar looking for a hole, and Lance Dunbar, the rookie, gets about 4 out to midfield. Dunbar's another young player who is getting an opportunity late in camp after being injured early on out in Oxnard.
Good job, Dunbar there too at the end. There's not a hole. He cuts it back in, and you know, he gets his shoulders down, gets his pads down, ends up getting 2 yards extra out of the deal rather than just running into a pile of bodies. There's another guy. I mean, I like Lance Dunbar. I don't know if he's going to be big enough to play special teams, but he really got hurt, Bill, by having that injury, no pun intended, and missing all that time in camp and not being allowed to show what he can do.
Well, he's getting an opportunity here. And made a move and then got stood up at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, but you saw a burst right around that left side. He has some speed. You can see that burst once he can hit a different gear here.
I like the end of the throw, Mike. He delivers a blow right there, yeah, and then he takes a blow.
On the spin,
take one.
yeah.
And Michael, you're an NFL Combine guy. Does do work at the for the NFL Network at the Combine Indianapolis. He ran a 4.45, so he showed that burst at the Combine. Showed it out here in a preseason game tonight. McGee has some time, but couldn't find a man he wanted to throw to downfield.
You know, Bill, you talk about the combine and the guys that go in and run great 40 times. A lot of times it doesn't translate. You know, you can see guys running 40s and then you see them in football pads and it just doesn't translate. But right there it does. With this young guy, he does. But he just didn't find anything. He was just trying to buy time as long as he can to try to wait for someone to come open near the sticks. But that never happened.
Chris Jones, the punter.
That ball
Short punt.
Thought he hit a Dolphin there, close to it at
The
least.
23-yard line. And the Dolphins will take over on offense. Scoreless about midway through the first quarter here at Cowboys Stadium. 25 by calling 1-877-NFC-BOYS or logging on to DallasCowboys.com/star. This week, find out who the 9 players honored for their offseason conditioning were. Back at Cowboys Stadium, Stephen McGee starting for Dallas, and fellow Aggie Ryan Tannehill in there, at least early on for the Dolphins from the 24. Miami on offense now. And Daniel Thomas, not much there. Some stingy run defense from the Cowboys. Look at this. Ryan Tannehill, Stephen McGee. One 6'3", 225, the other 6'4", 222, both athletic. Look at the passing yards at A&M. McGee, 5,475 yards. Tannehill, 5,450, both 7 yards an attempt. Completion percentage similar. Touchdowns to interceptions, very similar. And one of them was the first pick in the draft, or rather the 8th pick overall in the draft, and the other's a 4th-round selection.
Well, and one of them played wide receiver.
That's right. For the first couple of years, Tannehill did.
Very good athlete. That was a very good play right there by Tannehill. Just running just that simple out route. Stands in and delivers it on time.
Now, what if Tannehill was one of those guys, Michael, like, you know the type, those receivers that come back and tell the quarterback,
yeah,
give me the ball, I'm open. I'm killing this guy.
I've talked to him about that stuff before.
Have you?
Yeah.
And then he gets back to it and he's like, oh, that's a little harder trying to find all these people.
Now you see he has the chance to.
Ball start by the offense. Number 18, 5-yard penalty, Still first down.
He's had a chance to see both sides of it.
Yeah.
He has to deliver the begging and then deliver the ball to the beggar.
I love it.
You see what I'm saying? He delivered the begging and the ball to the beggar.
Tannehill, a West Texan, grew up in Big Spring. And May breaks a tackle. And a Silva comes over, as does Dan Connor.
Didn't break the second tackle, did he?
No, he didn't.
But at this point, what you're looking at, and watch 10 here. 1, 2, 3, bam, ball out. There it is, timing. It's a good hit there.
Dan Connor said, okay, that's enough of that. You might shake a DB, but you're not shaking a linebacker.
It's Connor and Bruce Carter competing for that inside linebacker spot opposite Sean Lee from the 39. And Daniel Thomas slung forward by Victor Butler near the first down marker.
It's a little kind of draw trap up underneath here.
It's a work for Daniel Thomas still, you know.
Look at Victor Butler at the end, too, trying to rip that out of there.
Wants to snatch it loose, still wants to. And you like seeing Victor Butler and guys like that because they're saying, I'm getting ready for the season. Want that ball.
3rd and short. Got some movement at the snap. And there is a flag down as pushing the pile forward the Dolphins. Cowboys have some interesting battles in that defensive line.
And it looked like one of those defensive linemen, Robert Calloway, got himself in there a little early. Jumped up, and he's right over the ball effectively. Just a man removed.
They were pretty crowded. They crowded that line of scrimmage pretty good there. I thought we had
zone infractions by the defense. Number 72, 5-yard penalty, first down.
When it's only 1 yard, you're after.
Yeah.
And everybody's fighting for that 1 yard. Yeah.
Well, at least you get it. Coach recognizes you.
Get some
when
TV
you come
time,
to the sideline, yeah.
Babe, you know that's the kind of recognition you don't want from a guy like Jimmy Johnson. You've been in those meetings with. You've heard.
And Tannehill working the right side, and that's Charles Clay.
We're going to get Mario Butler for a late hit here, and he could have pulled off, and he didn't.
Personal foul, roughing the passes. Defense, number 31.
Yeah, you're not going to like that. You're not going to like seeing that.
15 yards in the run, first down.
And, of course, we're dealing with replacement officials, as we will in week 1. Great shot there. The ball was gone. Butler took an extra step. Right here, it's a great-looking shot. Okay, ball's gone. Don't lower your head. Like they got the...
he could have pulled up off of that, you're right. But also, let's not let that take away from what we've seen out of Ryan Tannehill, too. Ryan Tannehill has dropped back and thrown the last 3 passes perfectly and on time.
That's tacked on to the end of the play. So that was 20 yards for the Dolphins. And now Daniel Thomas picks up another 15 down to the Cowboys' 15.
And guys, that's exactly why the coach doesn't like to see anything like this, because it starts stuff like, the momentum gets going, and now Miami's starting to get something going here.
Well, this drive sustained by a couple of penalties as well.
Right.
3, as a matter of fact, in this drive. And the Butler, Michael, just getting back to it, he dropped his head. He never saw the ball released.
Nothing going that time, and that's Josh Brent, who's depending on Jay Ratliff's status next week, and he's very questionable for the season opener. Brent's going to get a lot of time. In fact, he may start at nose tackle.
Man, if Brent can make plays like that, man, he may start in the Pro Bowl at nose tackle. What are you talking about? Hey, you see how he stuffed that guy, he stuffed that lineman, and jumped down and made that play. Boy, that's how you want the big guy to play in the middle.
Making his presence known, Josh Brent. Third-year man out of Illinois. 2nd and 9. And over the middle. Eddie Whitley comes up to make the stop on Thigpen, just short of the first down stakes.
Nice route on Connor there.
Yeah, nice little route. Kind of like just a little stutter option route. That's going to be a hard time for that linebacker to keep up with him. Wouldn't you say?
That's a hard route to cover.
Yeah.
Especially if anybody, if that running back has any lateral quickness, it's a scary route to cover.
A little shake and bake, and it looked like he had a two-way break. He could break out or in. And it just kind of froze Connor.
Now 3rd and 2. Corner of the end zone. Teddy Williams defending against Nane.
You said flat. You were looking for
I was looking for one, babe. I just thought the cornerback did not get his head up at all right there. At least an attempt to look back.
That could have been called easily.
Yeah. I think he was out of bounds.
Yeah.
You think those regular refs would have called that?
I think that would have been called.
That would have been
Again,
called.
just never got his head turned for the ball and went through the receiver.
It certainly would have been called.
So Dan Carpenter is on for the field goal from 21 yards away, and it is good. And the Dolphins are on the board first with 2:35 to play here in the first quarter at Cowboys Stadium. Miami leads Dallas 3-0. Dallas fans, here's your chance to win a fuel-saving Ford Fusion Hybrid. Go to drivecleanacrosstexas.org to sign up and get tips on how to reduce air pollution and save money at the pump. Remember, drive clean across Texas. Josh Brent making a play, trying to get a sponsorship deal.
Yeah, we're a little early, aren't we, for that?
Looking for an endorsement.
Tell you what, you hang around Jerry Jones long enough, you learn the tricks of the trade, don't you?
Nobody does it better. Oh,
but Teddy Williams, he loses the football. Carpenter, the kicker, trying to get it for the Dolphins.
Cowboys were not very good in the return game last year, punt or kickoff. Of course, harder to be good in their kickoff return, but looks like this is going to be Miami's ball.
How do you let a kicker get it?
You fumble it.
Yeah.
And I can tell you how you can avoid it. You got to hang on to it. Yep. Didn't look like a big hit either, Mike.
No, I did not. And, just hit him right on the spot, right place.
Marlon Moore.
I mean, that's just a very average kind of NFL tackle hit. Ball wasn't secured.
Yeah, 1 minute you're running, you threw a hole, you're saying, God, I'm going to make this team. I got it. And then somebody out of nowhere, whoop, and the ball's gone.
Darn, I forgot to bring the football with me.
Man, coaches won't like that.
Oh, that's
you
too bad.
just went from, I'm going to make this team to, coaches won't like that.
That coach doesn't like it.
He doesn't.
I love it. That is a familiar position for Joe DeCamillis, isn't it? Hands above the head, the arms folded. And I don't even want to know what's going through his mind right now.
Matt Moore is the new quarterback for the Dolphins. Of course, he has starting experience in the league. In fact, last year with Miami and prior to that with Carolina. And once upon a time, he was a Dallas Cowboy. From the Dallas 33-yard line, Thomas some first down yardage, or rather that is Steve Slayton on the carry to the 29-yard line. Tannehill is out of there now. His number's 6 out of 8 for 41 yards.
Bill, guys, I was about to say, I just thought Tannehill did a wonderful job for the time that he was in. And if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'll finish after this play.
Slayton for a couple.
If I'm the Miami Dolphins, guys, I feel pretty good about it. Okay, I got my young guy. He got some snaps in his last preseason game. He looks sharp. He should have as much confidence going into the regular season. Now, on the other hand, the RG3s, the Brandon Whedons, who are not playing in that final preseason game, well, I would be a little bit hesitant if I'm on another team and not playing those young guys in the final preseason game.
Excuse me, you know what's going to get him a lot more confident, I think, Michael?
What's that?
When Jake Long heals from his injury, and he's over there left tackle, the Pro Bowler. That'll get you confident.
Here comes Victor Butler.
And it's funny, Michael, everybody wants Anthony Spencer to pick it up on the one side. Spencer had 6 sacks last year, but This is a guy that could be capable of anywhere from 8 to 10 sacks. He's a good pass rusher.
You know, and I was talking to Warren Sapp about this yesterday. And he was talking about how much he's been watching, how much film he's been watching on the Dallas Cowboys. And I said, well, Warren, why is there only one place pressure only coming from one place? And his answer surprised me.
53-yarder from Carpenter is good. And you want to hold that answer?
I will.
Okay.
It's called a tease.
That is a tease. We just have to remember. We just have to remember when we come back from break that we did tease that. What did Warren Sapp say to Michael Irvin? That's coming up next on the Dallas Cowboys television network. Spirit passes in Seattle, Alabama, and Michigan. Duke it out at Cowboys Stadium. Tickets now available on livingsocial.com. Discover great deals on the best of your city. Sign up for free at livingsocial.com. It is Alabama and Michigan on Saturday night right here at Cowboys Stadium. What a way to kick off the new college football season. Lance Dunbar. Speaking of kickoffs, Miami's kickoff will send the Cowboys to the 20-yard line as it goes through the hands of one Lance Dunbar. And kickoffs have not been a specialty for the Cowboys on this night. Here late in the first quarter, Jason Garrett is hoping for better things out of his Cowboys offense. And now we do have a timeout. Cowboys trailing 6-0. Speed of AT&T 4G LTE has you covered. Part of the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Cowboys trail the Dolphins 6-0 here late in the first quarter. And Stephen McGee still in there at quarterback for Dallas with Philip Tanner in the backfield behind him. And going deep has Ogletree. And there's not one but two flags.
What a route by Ogletree. And McGee just held on to that ball way too long. I was like, what is he doing? Babe, I wanted to yell from up here. Throw the ball.
Pass interference by the defense, number 36.
You were going to say that.
Automatic first down.
Excuse me.
McGee's got a good arm, but, you know, every split second you wait, that guy is gaining 5 yards down the field.
I mean, he saw it right away and held it anyway. I don't know why would he do that. And I'm going to tell you something.
He got lucky. Excuse me. At the that pass interference call.
Yes. And as far as a receiver,
I asked the wrong guy.
It's very difficult for a receiver when you're running that long, looking back for the football, because the anticipation of where's this guy, where's that ball, it's just incredible. He has to throw that ball sooner.
43-yard penalty. And that's the biggest play of the evening for the Dallas offense.
That's my pet peeve. I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Rolling right. And there's Ogletree right on the sideline.
That was a good throw and catch.
It was.
But that pass interference, Michael, I know you're a receiver.
They called that out of bounds right there.
They're bringing it back.
Yeah, they're bringing it back. You see Ogletree right
Players aren't aware of it yet.
No.
Never got the other foot down.
The Cowboys are lined up as if it was a completion, and now they got to back
great.
up.
It's like herding cattle to the water tank. Look at that. I've never seen that. Look at them all. Wow. Steve McGee's saying push the clock back up. Give me 25.
He's down to 13.
Yeah, well,
you see this, though? Now Ogletree right here, when you're coming out of that route, you see why it took so long he had to flatten it out? He should have pushed that route another 3 or 4 yards. It would have timed out better.
And they did get the play off, and Philip Tanner gets about 9 yards. Your pet peeve, babe?
Oh, yeah, the pass interference. It's too penal. You play a whole game and you get a 43-yard penalty.
Yeah, it is this.
That's a spot foul, and I just think they can many times, they'll be some of the biggest plays of the game will be pass interference or the longest yardage.
Yeah, and the worst thing about all of it, I mean, you don't even get those on your stats. You know, I never got the 43 yards for the pass. So I'm like, keep the interference. Keep the interference.
We're through one quarter, and we haven't forgotten Michael Irvin has something to convey about Warren Sapp when we come back.
All right, Bill.
Maybe. Time to recognize tonight's Bank of America Offensive Featured Player of the Game. Tonight's player is Kevin Ogletree, and why not? Read more about Kevin Ogletree. Pick up a copy of next week's Star Magazine on newsstands Tuesday. Football fans, with Bank of America, ATM deposits are as easy as a handoff. Official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys, as Ogletree is now out of there for this play with the short yardage situation. They give up the middle, and Philip Tanner has the first down on 3rd and 1. You ready for Warren Sapp now?
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Michael, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Now, it was interesting listening to Warren because we were in L.A. yesterday doing some work, and we were talking about the Cowboys' defensive line. And he said, as he watches film, he says, Michael, I don't think people give DeMarcus Ware enough credit. This kid is like Michael Jordan. And he says the rest of his team, you know how the rest of the team sometimes, instead of rushing or playing basketball, they're watching Michael Jordan because he's so great. He says, I said, what's going on? Why can't Spencer and the guys get to the quarterback? He says, man, DeMarcus Ware is so great, they're watching him. He says, I'm watching film. He says he's watching some of these guys. In the middle of their moves on offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, watching DeMarcus Ware, it's like, oh, wow, he's great, instead of working on the quarterback. I thought that was fascinating.
That is fascinating. I don't know how true it is, but it is fascinating.
Hey, Warren knows defensive line play. That's right. What he says.
I wouldn't say that to him. The 2012 Dallas Cowboys scratch-off ticket from the Texas Lottery. Tickets on sale now. Cowboys have it at the 25-yard line. You saw Jason Trusnick was the injured Dolphins player who came off the field for the Philip Tanner run. McGee straight back. Ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete.
Boy, nothing's going right for McGee right now. Last week, Tony Romo, 200 yards passing in the first quarter.
But Tony Romo looked good last week.
Great.
That ball he threw to Harris. That was just
the post. Which one?
That post. The post.
Yeah.
It was. Babe, I was there.
That was couldn't have put it in any better.
And you love when you see that ball sailing in the air, and then that receiver just runs from that defensive back. It was harming. Of course, I never ran up on the ball like that.
Oh yeah, you did.
I took it off guys' head. I didn't run up on it like that.
Philip Tanner running with some authority for the first down.
I also got him on a deep crosser last week, Harris, like a race route, which I believe a red-headed guy threw to you against Green Bay on Thanksgiving Day in
088 special.
Yeah.
I remember the
1994.
Nice run by Tanner. Again, Romo 200-yard passing last week in the first quarter. We're at 5 right now.
But they talked about Tanner being challenged for that third quarter running back spot. He's sealing it, is he not?
Here's a guy that's going to make a little statement about that.
Thanks, Dunbar.
Of course, you have practice squad available to you. Tanner's just a bigger guy. I think he's a pretty good little short yardage runner, and he can play special teams. That's the thing with Dunbar, Bill Jones. Is he big enough at about 190, 185 to play special teams?
Yeah, he's that size where you almost have to use him, I would think, like a Darren Sproles, and have packages for him. I mean, that's
Darren Sproles' name.
I don't mean to say he is Darren Sproles, but he's like that size.
That's quite a name to put in.
Well, the North Texas fans, the Mean Green fans out there, wouldn't hesitate to put his name with Darren Sproles. Going for the end zone, Dwayne Harris. Nolan Carroll defending.
That cornerback look back.
Yeah, that's a ball too. I think again, Michael. If McGee gets it up just a tick quicker here.
Right now. Right now. You're right.
He ends up being a little behind. Just go to that back pylon.
Let's go play by
under it.
I love the effort from Harris to go at that ball. Now, usually you see a guy with that kind of speed, he doesn't have the ability to go at that football like that, or he just won't go at it. But Harris, he really is a receiver that can run instead of a runner that plays receiver.
And he is tough.
Yeah,
that's what I like about him too.
Yep.
3rd and 8 from the 12, low snap. There's Dunbar. See if he can make a Darren Sproles type move. To the 7.
That is funny, but I always like when I say, this guy. He said this guy reminds me a little bit of Emmett in the. Oh, he's that. You're saying he's Emmett? I said no. I said he's 5'9". Okay, and I said he's got a little bit. That is funny though, isn't it? As soon as you say this guy reminds me a little bit, people just jump on you.
That's what makes it so great. It makes this the greatest game. Greatest game in the world.
Who would I say reminds me of Michael? What would I say reminds me? That guy's got a little Michael Irvin in him.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Hopefully Dez. Dez is my man.
Dez.
We need to talk a lot about Dez coming up here. See, that's the next tease as Dan Bailey boots the field goal. Just under 12 minutes to play here in the first half. The Cowboys are on the board. Jason Garrett, see Stephen Miss Cowboys.com. All Cowboys, all day, every day. Not a bad seat in the house no matter where you are here at Cowboys Stadium. If you got the largest television anywhere right above you. Dan Bailey, after the 30-yard field goal, put the Cowboys on the board. Booms this one to the back of the end zone. And the Dolphins will take over on offense at their own 20-yard line with Matt Moore at the helm.
I do think Matt Moore, Bill, was the one quarterback that's been through here where when they let him go, I thought that's a mistake. Other guys, you try to massage things. Rudy Carpenter, who of course we'll most likely see here in the fourth quarter or the second half at least. He came through. They put him on the practice squad. Tampa Bay picked him up off of that, and you kind of take some chances on that. But Matt Moore was a guy where I would not have taken a chance with him, and they did, and they lost him.
Carolina picked him up off waivers, and later that season, Matt Moore was starting games for the Panthers.
Then did a great job for the Dolphins.
In trouble. Albright is in there, and so is Baraka Atkins.
Big trouble.
And this is what the Cowboys need a lot of this season. Guys get to the quarterback. Just tell you what Warren Sapp said. Too many guys are watching DeMarcus Ware as he gets to the quarterback. So hopefully,
DeMarcus, they're cheerleading. DeMarcus, you go get him. But then when he gets the sack, you jump in so you can get into the TV shot.
Get to that half.
Going the other way. Ori Lemon, the Oklahoma State Cowboy, has a preseason touchdown in the NFL. 25 yards.
Guys, it's a physical football game, but the best part about that is that was a mental play. And you want your young guys, especially at this time, to make mental plays. That means they're getting it.
Well, Matt Moore is trying to get a crossing route right to left.
Wait, read that.
And just never sees Lemon coming left to right. It's the hardest thing there.
And Lemon sees him the whole way and he sets it up great. You know who does that, I think, pretty well for the Cowboys is Sean Lee.
Got one from Peyton Manning last year.
Yeah, he does a wonderful job of that, man, of setting the quarterback up. Very, very rarely. Ed Reed does it from the safety position.
Very big play for Ori Lemon, one of those players on the bubble tonight. All smiles on the Cowboys sideline. Babe Laufenberg, show us how he did it.
Well, here's Ori Lemon. Matt Moore's got a little crosser you're going to see coming in here. And Ori Lemon just reads the eyes. He's going to keep coming. Matt Moore is looking outside to in. Ori Lemon's looking inside to out. Matt Moore never sees him. Basically, the guy pops out of the ground. You say, where did he come from? Well, that's where the quarterback has to kind of key into that area where he's going to be. You know your receiver, Michael, is going to be coming in on the slant. You got to look to the area where he's going to be, not where he is.
Right.
He didn't, and it cost him.
Know who's leaving the spot that he's going to.
Bailey booms another kickoff out of the end zone. Matt Moore, as Ori Lemon, the former high school quarterback at Houston Yates.
Sometimes it takes quite a while to teach a young guy how to read a quarterback eyes like that, follow the football, and make a play on that. He didn't just follow the quarterback eyes. He made a perfect play on the football. He went and stole the ball at the perfect time, made a nice cut to get in the end zone.
You know what we're going to find out, though, Michael? after the game, he was supposed to rush.
Here's Steve Slayton. Eddie Whitley comes up and lays a hit on him, but falling forward for the first down.
I remember Dexter Coakley's rookie year. You guys were playing at Pittsburgh. Remember that game? And you were handling Woodson pretty good on the outside, by the way. Anyway, you had a nice, comfortable lead at the half. Pittsburgh could come out and make a bit of a game in the third quarter if they score on their opening drive and cut it to 10. Anyway, Dexter Coakley, first game as a rookie, takes it, goes in for a touchdown. I said, yeah, he's reading the quarterback's eyes. I'm just lauding Dexter Coakley's veteran play as a rookie. After the game, we interviewed Dexter Coakley. So actually, I was supposed to rush.
Let's go down to the sideline and Mickey Spagnola.
I don't know if you guys were able to catch that, but after Ori Lemon came back from returning that interception for a touchdown, coming towards the sideline back to the bench, I swear half the bench went over there and met him. It was a big celebration. One of the first guys that got to him and did one of those leaping hip bumps was Des Bryant. So while these guys aren't playing, they certainly were in the game and celebrating with Ori Lemon. And if Des Bryant can get up that high and hip bump, he's ready to play a week from tonight in New York.
Yep, Dez is sitting there. It's been a couple of weeks now since he injured his knee and looks to be running around okay.
You know, interesting Mick brings that up because prior to the game we were talking about some of that up here in the box. You could tell what the Cowboys are really pressing and working on, interceptions and things like that, because you'll tell how the team reacts to that situation. And everybody got excited about that interception. So the Cowboys are looking for more turnovers this season.
Matt Moore going to left side, and Marcus Thigpen out of the backfield. It goes incomplete. It's punt time for the Dolphins. Matt Moore, by the way, has thrown a pick, and he's been sacked twice since coming in for Tannehill.
Bit of a struggle, and Stephen McGee's going to get back out again. Just 2 of 7 for 10 yards for McGee tonight, so he needs a little help out there.
Well, you can see why Ryan Tannehill's winning the position on the other side, though, with those passes from Matt Moore kind of finding dirt before they found the receiver, and Tannehill's plays. Really some nice throws.
Fields with the punt, and Dunbar lets it hit, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback, and Dallas will take over at the 20-yard line. Cowboys players on the bubble, including Clifton Gathers. That was a huge interception return for a touchdown for Ori Lemon, though, in his bid to make this team. That's what's brewing with the Cowboys. Well, here's what's brewing. All NFL teams have to cut their rosters to 53 by 8 o'clock Friday night. Head coach Jason Garrett said the team will begin working on this immediately after the game, since the season opener is 1 week from tonight. Stop by Dunkin' and get a freshly brewed coffee. America runs on Dunkin', and the coaching staff might be running on Dunkin' too over the next couple of days. Stephen McGee trying to get things going offensively, but not that time. Andre Holmes, number 15, was in the area.
Good decision by McGee to throw that one into the ground, because he was going to be chasing down the defender again, just like Matt Moore had to do earlier.
Yeah, that was a throwaway.
Yeah.
A good throwaway.
You don't like to throw it away down the field, in the middle of the field, but that's exactly what he had to do there.
And throw it down, but make sure he puts it in the ground. So he did the right thing there.
Power left, Dunbar turns the corner, gets about 7 or 8.
Well, you saw that 4.4 speed. Mm-hmm. You saw it hit the corner just then.
That's when usually you don't get the edge like that in the NFL very often, do you?
Not in the NFL, buddy.
High school that works, where you just pitch it to your back and you say run as fast as you can, get to the sideline and turn up, but usually they're too fast. They string you out before you get there. But Dunbar turns that corner, picks up a nice gain.
Lance Dunbar, a local product. Haltom High School, Tarrant County, far away from Cowboys Stadium. In fact, he was 7 years ago today, Hurricane Katrina. He was living in the New Orleans area. His family transplanted to North Texas. Andre Holmes, how about that down the sideline from Stephen McGee at the 41?
Nice throw by Stephen McGee right there now. But even better job by the receiver at taking his time at the line of scrimmage. Really took his time at the line of scrimmage, and McGee gives him an opportunity right there. That's all it takes. It's not a perfect throw. You're not asking for a perfect throw. You're just asking that for him to get the ball up, and what a job by that receiver and quarterback there, Holmes.
And Andre Holmes was that guy everybody talked about as the third receiver, kind of through mini camps, Bill, and OTAs, and sort of went away for a while and comes back with one play.
Other receivers have stepped up in the preseason. Holmes trying to add to his resume tonight. And McGee able to get some yardage running.
Good job by McGee here of stepping back up into the pocket and then going out. Again, I know they've worked with him. You know, you can't set up and then go out the back of the pocket. It just never works. Watch McGee he lets his tackles run his guys by him right there. Boom. Now he buys himself some time. Makes a good positive play out of something that wasn't there.
And sets up a 2nd and 4.
And hopefully that big throw kind of gets him going a little bit. You know, you got other guys, everybody's not quite sure what they're doing, and you got an O-line that's not quite sure, and sometimes you need one big play to get your confidence back up.
Dunbar gets to the outside, and he gets the first down near the 30-yard line. Good thing from McGee. Depending on what happens here in Dallas, as the Cowboys make a decision on even whether to keep 3 quarterbacks or not. Of course, he and the rest of these players auditioning for other teams in the league. And look across the field at the Miami Dolphins. They might even have a need for a backup quarterback. And offensive coordinator in Mike Sherman, of course, who is very familiar with him, having coached McGee in college.
Yeah, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think he
didn't play him. That was a guy that wasn't playing him all the time.
Well, he got hurt. He got hurt his last year, and he had a shoulder injury his last year there. He was the starting quarterback to start the year. Tim Benford. In fact, he didn't play Ryan. He played Ryan Tannehill at wide receiver.
Good job by Benford of fighting that one off. That gets back to what you were saying earlier, Michael, about contested balls. You're gonna have people in arms and hands around you.
And that's what you love that, seeing that out of the receivers right here. It's about going up and fight for the football. And if you get young guys that are doing it like this here, it's not going to be perfect. You got to make that play.
Tim Benford, the rookie out of Tennessee Tech. 2nd and 5. And there's movement.
Yeah, can't hold the big boys. It's like a car in neutral.
Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. No second down.
That was a little bit of a rolling start. Kind of coming out of his stance. And
he was trying to hold it.
Body in motion, stays in motion. Yeah.
He was trying.
Bill Callahan, Cowboys offensive line coach and offensive coordinator, saying, they always say, hold your water. I don't know where that how did that start though? Hold your water was always what you tell offensive linemen in terms of not jumping.
It's a lot of water.
Yeah, I don't know.
2nd and 10. McGee steps up and they'll run it. And he'll get 7 or 8 yards.
Maybe something I saw in this that I want to ask you about. In a play like
Holding
this.
By the offense. Number 74. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still second down.
Pat McQuiston.
You know, and it appeared
He had
Danny Cole over the middle of the field, and he just kind of darts out of there just a shade quick, I think, from time to time. Watch the left side of your screen here. There's Danny Cole, number 81, working in the middle of the field. There, give him the ball.
Right now.
Give him the ball. Give him the ball.
And how did you know that's the
Give either one of them the ball.
Because
the tight end Zerba's over there. Give either one of them the ball.
And now when a guy like that he's athletic and he has his legs, isn't he trusting his legs more than his arm right there?
I think you're exactly right. And you got to believe what you read. When you read the coverage and you see it, you got to throw it. And he still wants to confirm it, and it's just too late.
Heaves it downfield. How about Andre Holmes? Well, that's Tim Benford, rather, coming back for it. There is a flag on the play.
There's a lot of guys down the line.
2 flags right in the area where Stephen McGee threw this football. I don't know if he got hit late.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
Yep.
defense, number 50, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Well, there's certainly calls for trusting your legs right there. You know what I'm saying? If you can get, hey, when your legs get you out of this kind of trouble, bam, bam, and let you sit in here and still deliver that ball, there's a reason you trust them.
And that one was different. That the pocket collapsed, and he had to get out.
It's a Miami guy.
But that's certainly a great play to get around both of those guys and then still have the ability to keep his head up and make that play. It's an incredible play by McGee.
Tim Bedford with a couple of nice catches tonight.
It was Olivier Vernon, University of Miami, with the penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Cole.
I want to talk about this because I've always found this to be interesting. And we show this replay here. It's always, this is a back shoulder fade. And the back shoulder fade, I've never seen, you see right there? You see there's no contact between the DB and the wide receiver. I don't understand why they don't run into the defensive back and then the ball is on the back shoulder. Why do you go up 2 yards and then try to back shoulder fade?
78.
I talked to young guys and said the reason you're back shouldering it is
so you said get a little contact.
You're running into him. Yeah. The laws of inertia is going to send him that way, and you stop still for the ball. I don't think they're bringing in the laws of inertia.
You're not talking about pushing off now, are you, Michael? Michael,
hey,
you're not talking about pushing off.
I incorporated it into the game. It's in the game. It's in the game.
I understand. But Philip Tanner was grinding. He was trying to get in there. It wasn't for lack of trying. Boom, and I think he did get in.
Yeah, he reached over.
78 has reported, 78.
Technically, it is not a scoring play because he didn't score.
That's right.
But he scored in our eyes. That's a challengeable play if Jason Garrett wanted to challenge it.
He's not, and Tanner's into the end zone anyway.
Tanner said, I'll just take it in from here.
Tanner's having a pretty good night.
Again, they review all scoring plays. But since he technically didn't score,
it wasn't a scoring play, so they don't review it.
The ultimate catch-22, Yosarian.
Philip Tanner with the touchdown for the Cowboys.
And I know his mom, Felipe, is at home cheering her boy on. Maybe she's here. I think she likes watching him on TV, though. Really?
Even though she lives here in Dallas.
She gets too nervous.
Yes. He's from Kimball High School. Well, she can come to the game and watch it on TV and doesn't even have to look at the field. Have the best TV anywhere. Philip Tanner with the touchdown with less than 5 minutes to play here in the first half.
17 points up and things like that, in the first half. I don't care what game it is, and I don't care how you think it's insignificant. It's nice to see points on the scoreboard under your team.
And even though the regulars aren't playing, it just sort of adds to the momentum going into the first week of the season.
Absolutely.
And I'll say this, they may not be starters, but, Philip Tanner may be playing in games.
Sure.
And we know that Victor Butler is going to be playing in games, and Mario Butler may be playing in games. Just because they won't be starting doesn't mean A, they won't be playing, and doesn't mean B, they won't assume a starter's role when guys get hurt.
The Ford scoring drive, 80 yards in 10 plays. Tanner caps it. Even a guy like Andre Holmes, who had a big play on that scoring drive, there might be a role for him if he makes the team. That's the other thing, Michael, when you're looking at the receiver battle, one thing that Holmes brings that some of the other backup receiver candidates don't is the size that he has.
Yeah, and you know what, I love when you have big receivers, especially when you have young quarterbacks. Dallas certainly don't have that problem, but Miami does. Miami has smaller receivers and a young quarterback. And that's always a difficult thing for a young quarterback, I think.
Marcus Thigpen returning the kick. He gets near the 20-yard line.
With the smaller receivers, Bill, and I know you know this, you have to make a more accurate throw.
Or they better be really quick.
Yes, sir. You know.
When Duper and Clayton were playing down there at
Right.
5'10", 5'11".
Oh, come on now. You're talking about Duper Clayton, one of the most accurate guys in the world.
Yeah, but
Two of the quickest guys in the world, with Dan Marino, one of the most accurate guys in the world.
You got to bring something to the table. And Andre Holmes, number 15, we see him there. He's 6'5", so he's got size. But you got to, if you don't have size, you better have quickness. And if you have both,
oh, you got heavy.
Then you're Michael Irvin.
No, you're Dez Bryant. You're Dez Bryant.
From the 18-yard line.
And I mean, you're dead.
And Lamar Miller gets to the 23. You bring up the name Dez Bryant. So what do you make of what's going on with Dez this preseason?
Well, you know, when we say what's going on with him, I mean, what I've gathered that's going on with him, first of all, he's having one of his best preseasons. You know, just far as before prior to him getting hurt and the work that he's put in. Now, all of the off-the-field stuff, you know, it's just, you know, I'd say to Dez, you know, you have an opportunity to do some incredible things, really incredible things. And said, man, you know, you just got to focus in on what's important to you. No one loves playing football more than Dez Bryant. No one loves playing football more than Dez Bryant. And he just needs to focus on the game and let all of this other stuff go. Just focus on the game. And like my bishop says to me all the time, I said, Bishop, I keep telling him this. He says, be patient. He said, people were patient with an 088. I said, okay, Dad. Bishop Jake says that to me all the time.
There's a defensive play turned in by Lionel Smith, the Texas Aggie.
It might have been a pass interference, though. You know, it's that same play, babe, where you hold with one hand and get the ball with the other.
Yeah, I got to see the hole because he did a real nice job of getting up underneath that pass, just running up underneath it, getting his hand in, knocking it away. Did he turn the receiver?
Did he hit that waist?
Illegal contact by the defense. Number 41, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
All right, they're saying they got him outside of the 5-yard zone. There he is in the slot. You don't see the illegal contact.
And it's within the 5 yards that he kind of manhandled.
Right. At 5 yards, you got to let him go.
I don't know that he ever got 5 yards downfield.
Yeah.
It's a young receiver right there, too. And you cannot, man, you got to get your pass lower than the defensive backs.
Right, and in this game, the pass interference calls and holding calls and everything on the edge have been very shaky.
How about the speed of Baraka Atkins? Another one from the University of Miami.
Yeah, we got a few out there now.
There are a few, aren't there?
Not as many as back in the day, but there still are a few out there.
Look at Michael Jordan sitting on the bench with DeMarcus Ware.
His teammates want to sit next to Michael Jordan. Oh my. That's Big Jaworski Lane out of Lufkin, Texas. Another Texas A&M Aggie.
See, that's why I love you guys.
Wow.
You know, you got to sit here and try to explain what just happened. I'm sitting here, whoop. I'm going sound effects when I saw that hit coming, like, oh.
What a great story Jaworski Lane is. 6 months ago, he was working in a furniture store. He weighed over 300 pounds. He's lost 50 pounds in a 4-month period, and his old college coach, Mike Sherman, gave him an opportunity, and he looks like he's going to be the starting fullback for Miami. Basically, after being out of outdoor football for 3 years, he played in the indoor football league and then the arena football league.
I think you'd have a hard time convincing Lionel Smith there, who was on the receiving end of that he's lost 50 pounds.
Man,
Yeah, his former teammate, by the way, at A&M.
Well, and Smith is now on the sideline. He's shaken up after that play.
That big boy, you said he worked at the furniture store. He was laying carpet then. Bam, he laid it out.
He was up over 300 pounds. Now he's down to 257. But in fact, his high school coach at Lufkin, the late John Outlaw, and he was a high school teammate of Dez Bryant's. He said that he is the best football player he ever coached. That Jaworski Lane could play any position on the football field, offense, defense.
At some point, you wondered how such a gifted guy let himself get
to
that size. But you never know.
I think he ate a lot.
Yeah,
He didn't work out much.
Yeah. or somebody doused his dream. Somebody doused his dream. He allowed it to steal. Somebody to steal it. But this is what's great about the game. You got another chance. You get another chance. Get back in the fight. And that's what the game teaches that. Each week you got a new game.
And it sort of gets to the point on Des Bryant, or the maturity level of Jaworski Lane. He realizes, hey, this is my last opportunity. And 3 years after college, he gets this opportunity. And, here Des Bryant is 3 years after college. And maybe things are kicking and clicking for him now.
Yeah, after this play, Bill, we'll finish that conversation.
Matt Moore in the play fake, a wide open receiver, and it's a first down for Miami.
And what a route up top, man. He really sold the takeoff. He really sold the go route. You can see the cornerback really bought the go right here. Watch that push.
Rashard Matthews.
It's a double pump go.
Is there a more faceless team, though, Michael, than Miami?
Miami, no. I know.
I mean, it's Reggie Bush.
Yeah, I know.
Jake Long at left tackle. I don't know if you're still faceless,
That's
even if you're really good in the offensive line. But wow, you look at that roster up and down. They traded away Brandon Marshall to Chicago, and it's a no-name team.
2-minute warning here in the first half. Minute of Dallas Cowboys action. Season tickets are available for less than $1,000 a year. Call 817-892-4400 and speak with a sales consultant now. As Cowboys open the regular season next Wednesday night, 1 week from tonight, against the New York Giants. Rudy Carpenter talking with Tony Romo. Carpenter will get a lot of snaps in the second half. Miami on offense at the Dallas 45 with a first down. And Matt Moore unleashes a throw to the right side, incomplete, intended for Charles Clay.
Bill, as we were talking earlier, and we were talking about when these guys, young guys, mature. You just never know. You look at a guy like that came here, Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
And when Jimmy Smith got to Jacksonville, Jimmy Smith turned into a Hall of Famer. But he took Dallas and Philadelphia to hit that place. So you never know. Once he turns the corner, boy, you get something special.
Going deep down the left side, Moore. Marcus Thigpen, the running back.
So sure he ever saw that ball.
That was a nice call, nice play, nice throw by the quarterback. Everything except the receiver stop.
Yeah. I think he turned back, Bill, and just never picked the ball up.
Never picked it up.
Yeah. We mentioned some Miami Hurricanes in the game. He's an Indiana Hoosier, Marcus Thigpen.
There we go. One of many.
Yep.
One of two. Big third down for this Dallas defense here.
Over the middle, Marlon Moore. Big hit put on him by Baraka Atkins.
I would think that Miami would go for it here on fourth down. It's the Cowboys that called the timeout.
Timeout. Dallas.
Nice
That is their first team timeout of the half. It will be a 30-second timeout.
Saw Joe Philbin there on the sideline. Was up in Green Bay last year and could have brought Aaron Rodgers with him. As a matter of fact, though, Miami tried to get into the Peyton Manning sweepstakes. Tried to get Matt Flynn. Of course, Manning goes to Denver. Matt Flynn goes to Seattle. So they end up drafting, of course, Ryan Tannehill with the 8th pick in the draft.
Yeah, and I was in Miami, doing the radio show around that time. Of course, you hear all the coaches say, "Well, we really didn't go after this guy."
Well, my question would be,
that's not true with Peyton Manning.
Right.
But the Matt Flynn thing, he tried to throw that out. They tried to throw that out. But they like Tannehill from the start. And I've always thought that was interesting. I've always thought he's been an interesting subject
And they
as
had
a quarterback.
product knowledge because Mike Sherman,
Right.
of course, coached him in college.
Moore on fourth down. And the Cowboys defense with Mana Silva. Well, he's making a real bid to make this roster as a backup safety and special teams guy.
At the luncheon yesterday, I was saying, Michael, that players get introduced, before the game, and wide receiver, it's this guy. And then they announce themselves during games. And Mana Silva has just announced every game he's doing something. Had an interception against Oakland, comes back. This is a heck of a play.
And it's the kind of guy that's playing what I call shoulders up football.
Yeah.
It's the best kind of football you can play. Sean Lee plays it. It's shoulders up football because you know he's going to play well, but he'll help other people play well because he'll put them in the right places and give them opportunities to make plays also.
And he was a playmaker at the University of Hawaii. Wasn't the playmaker. He was a playmaker.
An adjective, I am the noun.
8 interceptions his senior year. James Henna with his first catch of the night. There's Mana Silva.
Say this, those guys are going to get in that room and make those cuts, and they're going to be difficult when they get down to those last few players. But Mana Silva is something to be proud of either way.
And of course, he was with the team the last couple of weeks of the season last year. He was with Baltimore prior to that. And there's James Henna again.
Big fella has to learn just to tighten up all the time when he's going across the middle. There is no need to relax ever, ever.
Because the other guy ain't relaxing, huh?
And he didn't leave the field to go to the restroom. Yeah. He's coming with this hit soon. Don't worry.
Going back this way to Dunbar. He stopped inbounds with now approaching 30 seconds left. Cowboys call timeout.
Dallas. That is the second team timeout of the half. It will be a 30-second timeout.
With a couple of receptions by Henna here, the update on Jason Witten. He saw the doctor yesterday, and as Jason Garrett told us on a pregame show today, it's still premature to say whether or not Jason Witten will be able to play on Wednesday night against the Giants. Still up in the air.
You know what I've always found interesting is as we talk about it, and I know we got Jerry Jones here. I was in LA yesterday, and we were talking about window closing on the Cowboys, and everyone was talking about that. On the shows and with Jason Witten and everything, I said, you got to look at this opportunity here. And I did call it an opportunity to really stretch that window that everybody's talking about closing because you get young guys start stepping up, making plays. You don't need to evaluate Jason Witten. You want him here for timing, but we don't need an evaluation of him. You don't need evaluations, but you get evaluations on some of these younger guys and they step up and start making plays. Well, you can smash that window back wide open again if these young guys step up.
Well, the draft is so critical. 2nd and 10. And overshoots Dunbar. And 3rd and 10 with 26 seconds left.
And my concern with Witten and a few others is, their stamina, of course. Even if he can go Wednesday, he hasn't been able to run, do that type of stuff, at least full speed of any type.
There's no getting it back by Sunday.
Yeah,
by next Wednesday.
And that's like Miles with the hamstring injury. Any lower body injury, you can't. Philip Tanner hurt his hand. He was out there in training camp running every day. He had surgery on his hand, but he was able to run. So when he came back to the field, his legs were in shape. You just have to worry about how many plays can those guys give you if they can indeed play.
3rd down. And Tim Benford over here on this side of the field, and it is a penalty against the Dolphins. Nolan Carroll, it looks like.
Got there a little too soon, huh?
They have the right defense for that call. They're going to perfect defense. I have to see it.
Number 28, spot foul, first down to spot.
Let's see this again here. See them rotating? Okay. Yeah, you're right.
A little shaky, Michael?
Yeah, well, you know what's happening here? When that timing is off like that, you got a receiver he's breaking down when the DB sees that ball throwing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was a little off. That was a shaky call. Just a little.
Yeah, they come.
With the pass so far off target.
Everybody's been on the refs, so I'm trying to be easy on these guys.
Got a little movement in the Cowboys line, but they've struggled with that call and those calls throughout the year here.
Ball start. Offense number 62. 5-yard penalty. No first down.
Again, those pass interference calls or non-pass interference call, they can really decide a game. Seattle is still upset about the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh. They got the push-off call, but as they say, they'll be called poorly for both teams.
15. Over the middle, stretching out for that one. There's Danny Cole, a 5th-round draft pick who needs to make some plays in this final preseason game, and he made one there.
Clock is ticking, but the Cowboys have a timeout.
Down to 4 seconds.
Too late. Too late.
But this is a nice post. Look at that post. Now watch this. Woo. Way to pull that. That's one-hander right there. Pull that ball in.
The rookie out of Virginia Tech. Well, he was a 4-year starter at Virginia Tech.
Now that's something that Dallas just hasn't had a whole lot of. A guy making plays right in the middle of the field like that for the Dallas Cowboys. We've had the outside guys, but certainly that could really help the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, he's in that hunt for one of the backup wide receiver positions, and who knows if being a 5th-round draft pick and if he has enough time left to beat out some of the other guys. That does it for the first half as the Cowboys add to the lead, a 20-6 lead over the Miami Dolphins on the 30-yard field goal off the foot of Dan Bailey, his 2nd field goal of the half. Mickey Spagnola is tracking down Jason Garrett. The Sony sounds of the game on the sideline. And let's go down to the sideline and Mickey.
Well, Jason, you played a lot of your backups, obviously, this first half, a little disjointed, but I think you saw some guys, both on offense and defense, step up and make some plays that make you think, I can't get rid of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we've talked before the ball game, we're going to evaluate the whole body of work, but this is a great opportunity for a lot of these young guys to play in a game situation, play in the first half of one of these preseason games. I thought from what I could tell from the sidelines, some guys did some good things. We got to clean some things up, but I like how they're playing.
It seemed like Stephen McGee picked up some momentum as the half went along. A little shaky at the start, but seemed to get in a little bit of rhythm and was getting the ball downfield. That nice catch there by Danny Cole. Andre Holmes with a nice catch. So he seemed to settle down the more he played.
Yeah, a little bit of fits and starts in the passing game early on. We had a guy fall down, a drop ball, those kinds of things. But I think Stephen did settle in when we started to throw the ball a little bit more. He did seem comfortable out there, move the ball down the field.
Backup defense, but still haven't given up a touchdown in the first half all preseason.
Really good. I think a lot of those guys just stepped up. Victor Butler again having a pressure on a quarterback, getting a sack. Those plays make a difference in the ball game. He and some of the other guys did a real nice job.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jason Garrett, Cowboys head coach. And by the way, guys, Lionel Smith, he doesn't think Javorsky Lane lost 50 pounds because he went into the locker room. They took him in. He got a pretty good hit to the head there. He was shaken up, and his helmet was worse for the wear. There was a pretty big gash in it also.
Well, that's what a 257-pound Javorsky Lane will do, even to an old college teammate. The Jason Garrett interview brought to you by Volkswagen, the Volkswagen Autobahn for all events. With offers this great, it's never been easier to get into a new Volkswagen. That's the power of German engineering. Jerry Jones up next. Now this from your local. The Cowboys lead the Dolphins 20-6 as we start the third quarter. DeMarcus Ware, a.k.a. Michael Jordan, on the Cowboys sideline. Bill Jones, Babe Laufenberg, and Michael Irvin.
I'm having a lot of fun up here, guys.
It is fun. It's great to have the playmaker along with us.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
Dolphins starting on offense. Eddie Whitley with the tackle. Marcus Thigpen. Miami will take over at that point. The first half stats brought to you by Miller Lite. First downs 13-9. 87 rushing yards, 119 passing, 206 to 114 total yards. And the replacement officials rounding into regular season form, calling 13 penalties in the first half of this game.
Yeah, whether they're justified or not, the 8 penalties won't make Jason Garrett pleased, that's for sure. 8 penalties and a half.
Michael will tell you they missed a couple as well. Could have been 15.
Crucial penalties. Miss.
Matt Moore stays in there at quarterback for Miami. The third stringer is Pat Devlin. We'll probably see him as we go along here in the second half. And Stephen McGee was 9 out of 20 passing for the Cowboys in the first half of this game for 124.
How would you rate it, Babe, as a quarterback? Stephen McGee.
Still not totally sold. Again, he's got a lot of, he's got everything you look for, but the ball just doesn't come out.
Matt Moore heaves it way downfield, complete to Rashad Jones on the sideline.
Yeah, getting out of that play is an incredible play. Just to get out of that play without costing his team 15 to 20 yards.
And he got rid of the ball. That's the one thing I hate to see. You know, they allow you to throw the ball away when you get out of the pocket. More, that goes one way, that doesn't look good. Goes the other way, that doesn't look good. But right here, instead of taking that sack, running out of bounds, smartly throws it out of bounds.
So 3rd and 7. And in trouble and brought down. And there is your rookie 3rd-round draft pick out of Boise State, Tyrone Crawford, with the sack.
The pass rush has been pretty good. Now, they harassed Bradford into a 6 of 17 last week when they played the St. Louis Rams. I shouldn't say last week, it was 4 days ago. And now Matt Moore, 2 plays in a row, he's just got nowhere to go. He hits his back foot, dropping back, and boom, he's got Dallas Cowboys all over him.
Yeah, as soon as Crawford hits that sideline, you see Hatcher and guys start jumping on him. Things like that tells you. I can tell you this defense been looking for interceptions and turnovers, and they've been looking for sacks.
Lance Dunbar is a little bit deep here. Is he not? No, maybe not for that part.
Brandon Fields. And it's Dunbar from the 25. Being a smart North Texas player, he had scouted Brandon Fields to the point to know that he had a punting average, Brandon Fields, last year that was up there amongst the tops in the league. In fact, averaged 48.8 yards a punt last year.
But he was back there at 60.
That's why he was back there. Now is the time to tour Cowboys Stadium. Get a behind-the-scenes look at Cowboys Stadium with a VIP self-guided or art tour. Stadium tours are available anytime. For more info and to purchase tours, go to CowboysStadiumTours.com, call 817-892-TOUR, or visit the ticket office here at Cowboys Stadium. Rudy Carpenter is the quarterback for the Cowboys as we get going on offense for Dallas and going deep down the near sideline. Andre Holmes incomplete.
Didn't believe in that play from the get-go. Andre Holmes looked like he just kind of eased up or actually stopped running.
Well, you got to go step on the foot of the defender. We're catching the very tail end of this.
Yes, and you can tell where he was just trying to pick it back up then. It looked like he thought that the play was already over when he stopped running.
You know the one thing I hate about having Michael Irvin in the booth, Bill?
What's that?
When there's a receiver running around, I can't comment on it. I got It's like me when I had back surgery saying, no, I moved that incision about a quarter inch over to the right. What are you doing, Doc?
And you see the way I'm trying to get around, babe, when I have quarterback stuff. I said, babe, let me ask a question on this. Right. I try to get around it that way.
Can you imagine, babe, if you weren't in the booth, what he would be saying about the quarterbacks?
That's why I'm here.
Trust me, I've been taught the right way by Troy Aikman. Don't you ever come at me. Just leave me alone. I
still love Michael in those days yelling at everybody down that bench. Boom, you, and you, and you. And then he got to Troy and he just walked out to the next guy.
Right over.
And pass goes incomplete. Danny Cole.
That'd been a nice catch for Cole to make there, Michael.
Yeah, and exactly. And this kind of plays that we're talking about, these are NFL plays. When you see a guy make a play and he's open, you say, okay, he made that play. We watch him make that play in college. But those hit plays, bang plays, as Noah Turner used to call go up big for plays. Those are the plays that'll keep you around the NFL.
And as my good friend Curtis Jordan out of Lubbock, Texas used to say,
yeah,
and he said he was a safety. He said, might as well catch it. We're going to hit you anyway. Because that was in the days when you could hit somebody and just say, I'm going to just tee him up and take a shot.
Curtis Jordan is a good player.
Very good player. One of the original Tampa Bay Buccaneers from 1976.
Really?
Yeah.
I just remember him as a Redskin.
Yeah. He was there with Tampa. And if you want to hear some good stories, have Curtis Jordan tell you some Tampa Bay stories when they were going 0-26.
Cowboys lead 20-6 over Miami. Down to the sideline, Mickey Spagnola.
Well, guys, we got an injury update here from that first half. Lionel Smith did suffer a concussion. He will not be coming back. Derek Dockery left for personal reasons, and Daniel Loper had a right hamstring strain. He's out. And what we wanted to show you here is the video review system they use for injuries. And when Lionel Smith suffered that hit, Cowboys doctor Dan Cooper came over here and reviewed the play. And this is new to the NFL. This is something they're going to be doing this year on the sideline, so the doctors have a very good idea of how the injury happened and exactly where a guy got hit. So this is the screen right here they would look at.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah. Mickey, can you get them to roll the video in there, and maybe we can
now
look at the
you're probably asking for a lot, okay?
Number 83, 10-yard penalty, he spotted the foul. Still first down.
Now we know when the referee goes over and looks under the hood, so to speak, on a challenged play, he gets 60 seconds. Hopefully, and then they literally take that picture away from the screen. They have to make the decision. Hopefully they give the doctors as much time as they need.
Yeah, I would think.
Hopefully in 60 seconds they don't pull it back and say, hey, if you didn't read it by then.
You know what that is too also. You know, the doctor can make a determination to get that guy out of the game. You look like you were out before you hit the floor, the turf. And a lot of times players in a big game will feel pressure to try to get back in to play for their team.
We saw Jason Witten having an animated sideline discussion a couple of years ago, wanting to get back in the game. It was hard to do when they took his helmet away. So,
that's one thing, babe, and you know, and Bill, that's one of the most difficult things in the world, and it's almost tough to explain to everybody else. Most difficult thing in the world, especially if you are somebody like a Jason Witten, to be injured and have to sit there and watch your team play. Oh, it's the toughest thing in the world to do.
Especially when you think you have your wits about you enough to know that you can be out there helping your teammates right now. Completed pass near the first down.
Matt Moore now gets himself a little bit of time. Three-man rush by the Cowboys. Nice shuffle, finds his man over the middle.
B.J. Cunningham, rookie out of Michigan State.
Good job by Matt Moore of just kind of sticking with that, waiting for his receiver to get into the open area and then delivering a good pass.
Now 3rd and 1 and hit in the backfield and dropped. Baraka Atkins again making a play.
Well, from the U trying to get and make his move to get on the football team right here. And you like seeing this, man. I don't care what time of the year it is.
Yep.
When you get a 3rd and 1 and your defense comes up with a big stop, that's good football.
And Baraka Atkins is not a rookie. He's 4th, 5th year. Drafted, in fact, a draft pick in 2007 with Seattle. 4th round pick. Trying in the last couple of years, hasn't stuck with the team, but he's shown enough, I think, this preseason. He's going to stick somewhere, even if it's not in Dallas. Dunbar trying to break free. He does so. Here goes Lance Dunbar. And knocked out of bounds at the 40 by the punter, Brandon Fields.
Boy, what a nifty move by Lance Dunbar. Very nice work by him. And watch Adrian Hamilton, 53. He's got to turn his back, go block somebody else.
Boy, keeps those feet moving, though.
27 yards for Dunbar on the return. Real Cowboy fans have customized team license plates. Visit myplates.com for details on how to show your true colors everywhere you go. Bill Jones with Babe Loffenberg and Michael Irvin. Cowboys lead the Dolphins 20-6, still early in the 3rd quarter. Rudy Carpenter playing the second half for Dallas at quarterback. From the 42. And there goes Lance Dunbar again. Dunbar makes a move, and Lance Dunbar is in the end zone. 58 yards.
That is just a Lance Dunbar scoring play. Sets up his own run with a big punt return. Very similar to the punt return, Michael. Just keeps his feet and pops out, and he's got a hole on the other end of it.
And once he comes out, and that's why what it make a great running back, that kind of balance, because you can come out on the other end, and with this kind of speed, boy, I know Dallas Cowboys fans are hoping and wishing and praying that that's a lot of Felix Jones breaking out with that kind of speed in week 1.
I've seen Darren Sproles do that before.
That's exactly how Darren Sproles looks.
That's exactly right.
If he could do that a couple of times a game, we could give him the Sproles nickname. We call him Sproles, number 2.
27-6, Cowboys lead. 58 yards in one play. Thank you very much, Lance Dunbar.
Lance Dunbar, all smiles, and he should be. Just watch the work by this offensive line here. Everybody just comes and blocks back, and Dunbar reads it well, picks up the hole off the backside, has to break one tackle himself here. Look at him reading the hole very nicely. Now breaks 1 and 2, and it's off to the races.
Stay tight on that blocker's tail.
North Texas product. North Texas going to have their hands full, I think, in their opener, huh, Bill?
Yes, they go down to play at LSU, first game. And the Dolphins out to the 25-yard line, a penalty marker down. Dunbar went 27 yards on the punt return and 58 yards on the run. Now 7 carries for 85 yards.
That's pretty good. He counted for basically 85 yards on that drive with the punt return and run combined. And again, he's an interesting guy, Michael. I mean, he's got a little something to him running the football.
He really does, babe. But that's why you illustrate
During
that.
the return, illegal block in the back. Number 48 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
And some of the conversations that we've had at the network and around the league talking about the Cowboys' first game against the Giants. And I was talking a lot about what you were just mentioning. You know, you got a lot of young guys. Those young guys up front, they're heavy guys. And everybody talks about the Giants and their ability to get to the quarterback. If the Cowboys can put some pressure and start running the ball early and get those guys with heavy legs, maybe it'll help them later in the game.
Well,
see how smart those quarterbacks were there, sitting on that bench. We get another shot of that bench real quick.
It's Pat Devlin in at quarterback for the Dolphins now.
Look at that. See the quarterback.
Right in the middle, running
touchdown. No, they know where the camera's going to be.
I'm
going to go sit next to Dunbar. Quarterback's not stupid.
Lamar Miller. He gets 9 yards.
That's another U guy right there.
That's right. I don't know if we got more Miami guys or A&M guys in this game.
Mark Miller, that's a speed guy there too.
You know, going back to it, Michael, you said it at the top of the show, how people say, well, this game isn't important. It's important to those guys, and it's important to Lance Dunbar, and he ran like it was important to him.
Absolutely.
And Miller gets the first down.
And even if he doesn't make this football team, Lance Dunbar, he takes confidence to the next place that he goes. You know, and he goes in saying, I know I made plays at this level. And I'll tell you something. If you ask me what's the most important thing, and for a young guy to make a football team, I'm going to tell you it's that confidence. It's the most important thing.
Well, that'll give you confidence, won't it? Return to the punt 27.
And then going 58. Yeah.
Your confidence grows. Bill Parcells always said, confidence is born of demonstrated ability. He demonstrated a little ability right there, as he has throughout his career, I might add.
School record-setting performance in North Texas the last 4 years.
No, that's what I always say. Don't overlook productivity. It's real simple, but you know, you get on the road and you're scouting and you get enamored with this guy that runs this. He runs a 4.3 and he's big and he's tall. And well, what kind of football player is he? I said, well, he's just kind of average, but he's got all the. So don't overlook productivity.
Bill, is that, babe? Is that the guys falling in love with the speed of the player as opposed to the productivity, or is that the scout falling in love with his own self-aggrandizement ability of coaching, and he thinks, hey, I can do better than that other guy did with them?
Exactly. That's exactly.
It's a little bit of both.
Hey, great example of that, I would say, was Martellus Bennett here. You know, second-round pick, and you know, wasn't extremely productive at A&M, but then you say, well, he'll be good for us, and then he'll be good for the next guy. And I'm not.
I would have taken a fly on Martellus.
Well, that's, I mean, if I had worked him out and I'd seen 6'6",
oh my
the hands and the
basketball player too,
one like that, man.
And that's not honestly. That's not to knock Martellus Bennett. I don't mean to do that. I'm just saying.
Listen,
some guys you wait around for and it never comes, and other guys you keep wanting to push them aside, but they keep by their play, they say, no, don't count me out, right?
Well, I understand you don't want to knock Martellus Bennett, but like I told Marty Tellers, I said, Marty, you can't have Marty B TV without having Marty B TD. Nobody wants to know what goes on Marty B TV until you have some Marty B TV TDs.
Well said.
So, you know what I'm saying? You just, come on, man.
Well said.
We can't.
No, but even, you look at a guy, Kurt Warner. You know, he was productive. Yeah, productive in the Arena League. Now, I understand that if you get every player who's been productive in the Arena League, you're going to go broke as an NFL team. But Tony Romo was that guy. He was the Walter Payton Player of the Year. He threw for 8,000 yards. He did a lot of things. And so when you start saying, well, but look who he did it against, look where he was, look at the competition. It's like, yeah, but don't overlook the productivity. They're all playing on a level playing field. It's my pet peeve.
Third down.
I'm with you on that.
And Lamar Miller has the first down. That's the first third down conversion of the night for the Miami Dolphins. They're now 1 for 9 on third down.
And Lamar Miller had productivity at the University of Miami. Had some injuries also, though, and that dropped him in the draft.
4th round pick.
Right. But a pretty good running back.
But Marty B will get his opportunity against the Cowboys next Wednesday night.
Yes.
As a member of the New York Giants.
Now, and something will rise up in him, and he'll play like a, I'm always a little baffled by that. When it's revenge and I can play like I don't know what. But you didn't have what they call real determination and everything the first time you play like I don't know. I'm anxious to watch to see how he responds to that game.
Of course, with the injuries the Giants had at the tight end position, Bennett starting at tight end for New York.
And you know he's going to have a big game, don't you? Don't you just know it?
That's what
I mean, you just know it. Just chalk him up right now for 6 catches and 110 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Which would match, would be better than his numbers here.
Well, he had no touchdowns over his last 3 years. I believe he had 4 as a rookie. Now,
you got that guy playing
because,
in front of him.
You don't get a lot of
by the way, Michael Irvin, that guy right there, Jason Witten, he's 54 catches behind Michael Irvin on the Cowboys' all-time receiving list.
Well, Jason, and if anybody can get it, Jason certainly deserving of it, man. And I just think the world of Jason. I remember early on, before these guys were on the field, he and Tony Romo, and you went over to Valley Ranch, those guys were running routes by themselves, man. So when you see these guys having success, for me, it's a thank you to the football gods. So I want to see the guys that put in the work have success.
See, Cowboy fans need to hear that because we all know that Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin did that back in the 90s. And there's a school of thought out there that it wasn't going on with Romo and Witten early in their careers.
Oh, trust me. You know, those guys got here, and those guys are 2 of the best in the league. And I used to say this was before they got on the field. They were not the guys on the field. You know, it was Drew Bledsoe and all of those guys throwing the ball around here. Now, Romo, you would go over to Valley Ranch, and it would be Romo and Witten on the field all the time, and I would just sit in the window and look at those guys, man, and say, wow. That's why I've always said, man, Witten is my favorite. I love him, man. This guy, he works. He wants to be that guy that everybody can come to on a football team, and he's there for everybody.
Sitting down on his backside, making the catch. Inside the 10-yard line is Matthews.
Man, at Cowboys luncheon yesterday, I spoke about DeMarcus Ware, and it applies to Jason Witten as well. There you see that little back shoulder fade. But you're looking for durability and productivity. And Jason Witten is a guy that's missed 1 game. 1 in his NFL career.
Why'd he miss that game?
Broken jaw. And Bill Parcells wanted to know why he took the week off. 1 game. That's hard to do. And it doesn't mean he hasn't been hurt.
And you see, when we say that, and we're talking about Marty B, and you say, well, that's why Marty B didn't get a chance. I said that's why Marty B should have gotten a chance. I think in this league, you would never get great unless you have somebody that's showing you exactly how to be a professional. And there was no one that he could have learned how to be a professional from than Jason Witten. And you were not taking notes. You got to be in class with a pen and a paper and take notes when you see them and not just look at them, but take notes. Do what he does. That's what you do.
You know what I love here? That's Dr. Dan Cooper right there. And Witten is explaining his condition too. Yeah,
he's already working for next week.
He's laying the groundwork.
Working on next week. That's right.
He said, I've been on the internet. I've seen a lot of stuff about these spleen injuries. It's a touchdown for the Dolphins here.
We've got this home X-ray machine. I've looked at my spleen. I'm fine. And Dan Cooper, look at him, arms folded. I'm not buying a word of it.
And Doc doesn't hear. Doc doesn't hear anything either. That's a good man there too. Doc's a good man too.
But that's what you call a unilateral conversation, don't you? Dan Cooper here.
Look at that.
Hey, come on, smile for goodness sake.
Boy, Witten's got his speech down.
Yeah, Witten is. Yeah, it's a filibuster. That's too good. No, Jason, if you want my opinion, I'm saying you've got a lacerated spleen. That's my opinion. Jason's saying it's fine. Oh, that's great. That's great.
In the meantime, the Dolphins scored a touchdown, and they've kicked the extra point while the conversation continues on the Cowboys sideline. Look, we can take the spleen out. These are Jenny Holzer's truisms. Cowboys fans this season can see her one-liners on the screen here at Cowboys Stadium. She was a guest of Gene Jones last week. And this week, the Cowboys welcome artist Jim Campbell to the game. And there is Jim Campbell.
And the art just keeps on rolling in here, doesn't it?
It really does. It's growing year by year, if not month by month.
Yeah, and I've told people if they haven't come, they take the stadium tour, and the art is phenomenal. Literally world-class art.
Kick goes to the back of the end zone. Jim Campbell, by the way, a contemporary San Francisco-based artist, award-winning with his work appearing in such places as the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York and the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. And Jenny Holzer, likewise, highly acclaimed artist. She'll be adding her work to Cowboys Stadium this season and on down the road as well, as will Jim Campbell. Rudy Carpenter with the give to Lance Dunbar. And he makes the most of that, gets 3 or 4 yards. Let's go down to the sideline. We got Mickey Spagnola. Mickey?
Fellas, and I've got Cowboys safety Barry Church. I guess I should say starting safety Barry Church. You're used to playing at this time in preseason games, and now you're just sitting here relaxing watching.
Oh, it's definitely a different type of feeling. The past 2 years I've been out there on the last game trying to make the team, but this year they felt like I did enough during the preseason and the first 3 games to solidify a spot and to starting safety, so I'm just taking it and run with it.
So that's got to feel pretty good to you, knowing that you've got a starting spot here on opening day.
Oh, it's definitely feeling great. I mean, just going out there and playing with the ones and just getting to feel how they play and how I play. So, I mean, it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to September 5th.
What do you think made the difference for you this year, going from where you were as a kind of a backup special teams guy, a package guy, to earning this starting job?
I think it had to do a lot with my just comfortability out there and just confidence going out into the game, knowing what I was doing. I mean, it's the second year I'm under Rob Ryan's system, so I learned the system pretty well and got confident in myself and my game, and that proved to be the factor of me getting a starting job.
Now, that position has changed out quite a bit here the last 3 years. It's always been somebody different with Gerald Sensabaugh.
Yeah.
That Sensabaugh tell you, hey, you just stick with me here now. Don't just one and gone.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely looking forward to me making some plays out there so we can stay back there for a while, and hopefully that happens because I would love to stick around.
Now, the defense has played pretty well during the preseason. I know it's preseason. Guys didn't play all that many snaps, but still, and the backups today, they still didn't give up a touchdown in the first half. So you guys got to feel pretty good about yourself heading towards the season opener.
Oh, definitely. We feel great about our defense and how we're coming together as a unit. I mean, everybody's playing pretty fast out there. Everybody's communicating well. So as a unit, we're playing pretty good, and the twos are getting a chance to show that they can play as well today. So, and they're doing a pretty good job.
Now, you know the Giants probably remember last year, and they had a lot of big plays on you guys. So I'm sure that's on your mind going into the season opener a week from tonight.
Definitely. We got to look out for the big shots. They're a big shot team. They like to throw it down the field. field, and we're going to be prepared. We're going to be prepared. We got a pretty good system going in, so we're going to be prepared for September 5th.
Okay, Barry, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Cowboys starting free safety, Barry Church, Bill.
All right, the Sony sound of the game. Believe that anything you can imagine, you can make real. Sony, make.believe. And in the meantime, Lance Dunbar is imagining big things for himself in the NFL, and he's making it real tonight.
Lance Dunbar, unofficially, according to our statistician Brian Sperry, that's 100 yards for him.
And he is now, well, maybe barely over 100 yards.
101. I'm going to say 102 now. Boy, he'd had himself a nice game. Again, he was one of those guys, Michael, missed the first couple games, missed most of training camp with an injury. And being a free agent, you got to force yourself way onto the roster. And hopefully he's had enough time to do that in the last couple of games.
Yep, and at that position, too. At that position, you get a few opportunities, you make a few plays like this, you got a chance to be in this league.
He makes one more, and they're going to have a real hard time saying,
keeping them, making sure they hold on to him. And Tanner played pretty well tonight also.
Yeah, different type back. We're at the end of three-quarter on Saturday night. The second-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide will play the 8th-ranked Michigan Wolverines here at Cowboys Stadium. Get your tickets on livingsocial.com to see this contest between two college powerhouses from the Big Ten and the SEC. Discover great deals on the best of your city. Sign up for free at livingsocial.com. What a game that should be. With Alabama, Michigan's got quite a team this year with Denard Robinson at quarterback. And now we start the fourth quarter. Rudy Carpenter firing outside to Salim Akeem, and it is a penalty flag on the play.
After every flag, there's a arching back of the neck to the sky by the defender.
Pass interference. Defense, number 36. Spot foul, automatic, first down.
Let's go back. This is a big play here earlier by Rudy Carpenter. Picks his way up in the pocket. Not there, not there. Ducks out, protects the ball. Watch him turn his shoulders back. That's a great lesson for high school kids. You know, when you're coming out of the pocket and you got some time, instead of keeping on the run, he just whipped those shoulders back, made a real accurate throw.
Looked right up because he had room to run, but he kept his eyes upfield.
Yep.
Nowhere to go for Dunbar this time. Think about Rudy Carpenter. He had quite a college career at Arizona State. I mean, he walked on campus at Arizona State and was starting his true freshman year just a few games into the season.
I must say, I just like the way he operates. He just has a good feel, and it's something you can't really quantify. And that's what I like too, Michael. Coaches they'll chart every throw by the quarterback, as they should. Every throw, 1-on-1, 7-on-7, 9-on-9, teamwork. Ultimately, they go with their gut. So they spend all this time with all these numbers, and ultimately they say, this guy makes me nervous, I like this guy.
So they're taking in the information just to confirm their gut.
Well,
they're not taking in information to make a decision. It's just to confirm what's in the gut.
I think ultimately, especially at that position, kicker different. One guy makes 40 out of 50, that guy makes...
Substitution infraction by the defense. 12 men on the field. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
The other guy makes 50 out of 50, and you just, hey, there's my kicker. Quarterback is like, I know what the numbers say, but my gut tells me this.
Because, and babe, to that though, because you bring up a great point, the numbers can say one thing, but you're watching so many more things than the numbers. Right. How does he handle the team? How does he get them in and out of the huddle? Do this team look like they believe in him in tough situations? Those are the things that are important at quarterback.
As I say that, bad things are going to happen here. Just never fails. They let you down.
Heaves it deep downfield. Intended for Tim Benford.
That's a pretty good job by Carpenter there. He knew he was going to take that hit, babe, and Bill, but he put the ball out trying to at least give the guy a chance to make a play.
And actually threw a pretty good ball. Take a look at the center here. Watch. No, excuse me, he's at right guard. I'm sorry, it's David Arkin here. He's playing right guard. He just gets run over. Woo. He gets on his heels, and it's over. And Carpenter forced to throw it. And as you say, Michael, he just put some air under it and hopes he can run under it. As Arkin started the game at center, now has moved to right guard, so I apologize about that.
Carpenter is brought down. That was Keyston Randall, former Texas Longhorn, with the tackle.
You know, as we were talking earlier, you know, about was that quarterback trusting his legs too much? What's Carpenter? He wants to throw that football. Now, for me, I like seeing that in a quarterback because I'm the receiver. I don't ever want you trusting your legs. Because once you trust your legs, that means you don't trust me.
Well, and two reasons. One, I don't get a reception, and two, I've got to block.
Exactly.
Running, and I don't want to do either of those.
Exactly.
Chris Jones, the Cowboys punter, goes into the end zone. And by the way, the Eagles waive Matt McBriar. So Matt McBriar's back available again.
After Vince Young.
That's right. 27-13 Dallas leads. Time to recognize tonight's Bank of America Defensive Featured Player of the Game. Tonight's player is Tyrone Crawford, the third-round draft pick out of Boise State. You can read more about Tyrone Crawford by picking up a copy of next week's Star Magazine on newsstands. It'll be available on Tuesday. Football fans, with Bank of America, ATM deposits are as easy as a handoff. Official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Crawford with a sack earlier tonight. Pat Devlin, quarterback, and almost coming up with the interception was the Virginia Tech man, Eddie Whitley.
You know, that's something the Cowboys would like to get a whole bunch of this year.
Okay, where you get that interception, Whitley wants that interception, you know. A one-hander, too. It would have been a nice catch. That pass was tipped.
Second and 10. And a pick up of 7 yards for Miller. Loose football, a whistle. And looks like he is down at the 27. Let's go down to the sideline. Sony sounds of the game and Mickey Spagnola.
Fellows, I'm with Cowboys wide receiver Kevin Ogletree, and as you can see, he put in a hard day's work here. This jersey's pretty messed up. What's the deal?
Yeah, that's usually a bad sign. That means you let the ball get on your body, so you don't want those little orange, brownish marks on you because you want to catch it out here.
Now, you came into training camp this year knowing that there was an open third wide receiver spot. There was a bunch of candidates, and it seemed like all you guys kind of stepped up. How do you feel this thing's going to play out?
I got a good feeling. I think the right guys will be out there on a week from now, and a lot of confidence in myself and my teammates and the coaching staff, and hopefully I left the right message and the right message really in their mind.
So you knew coming in there was an opportunity. Did you do anything different in the offseason to get ready for this training camp and this preseason?
Yeah, my college coach once said something that stuck with me. He said, you continue to do the things you've always done, you'll get the results you've always got. And I didn't want things to go how they have been. Not that they've been terrible, but I wanted some change. I knew I had to do something different. So the approach changed a little bit. I had to work, harder. That's it. You can't do the same things you did last year, especially when the year didn't go how you wanted it to go. So definitely put some extra time in. Definitely was working as hard as I can, just knowing that opportunity would present itself again.
So football, it seems like, became pretty important to you then as a priority.
Oh yeah, most important deal I had going on, especially through those tough times where I didn't have much to lean on, but football's always been there for me, and it's really special to have this chance again.
So it must have felt pretty good the last couple games in the preseason. You had some pretty nice performances, probably showed them what you want to do, and the fact that not only can you play on the outside, but you can play on the inside depending what they're looking for.
Oh yeah, that's that flexibility just helps me out a little bit, knowing that I can get inside and be quick and make some plays in the slot, and then outside you got to be strong, you got to be able to get off the press, and I think I showed, and I'm still working on it, but I can do both, and it just helps you, it helps your your chances of being out there. The more you can do is kind of the saying, and it's very applicable, with being able to play inside and outside.
Now, I noticed one thing, especially being down here on the sideline, there's a bunch of you guys fighting for the third spot, fighting for playing time, fighting for roster spots, but everybody seems to be pulling for each other, and when another guy does well, everybody's congratulating the guy, and I don't know, I guess you're teammates, but you're also trying to make sure you make the team.
Yeah, well, we got our group of receivers, especially. There's competition all over the field at every position, but the receivers do a great job of making it a friendly competition in the sense that we all want that job. We all know that it's going to have to be taken by someone, but we're going to do it together. We're going to work hard together. We're going to compete against each other, but we're going to make each other better at the end of the day.
Okay, Kevin, appreciate it. Thank you
so
very much. All right, Bill, back to you.
All right, Cowboys take over on offense when we come back to Cowboys Stadium. Cheerleaders and great discounts on food and drinks. Cowboys getting set for the 2012 regular season here at Cowboys Stadium. A first home game isn't until late September against Tampa Bay. They'll open up on the road next week, of course, on Wednesday night against the Giants, and then travel to Seattle the second week of the season. Lance Dunbar getting to the outside, got hit out of bounds. Jimmy Wilson, no flag.
Well, Lance, he's getting that corner. He's getting in that corner quite a bit right now.
He's right on the edge of a late hit. Good stiff arm there. Wouldn't want to hit him another 6 inches out of bounds, because that was on the edge. Happened so fast, though, boy.
Probably thinking they get away with it with these reps.
Pick up a 7 for Dunbar. He's now at 107 yards rushing. Benford has the first down.
Another stiff arm. Breaking it out. Tell you, DeMarco Murray's about as good as that as anybody, and he's been working on it. Isn't he good?
That stuff, yeah. You know what? He works on it with the MMA fighting and all he does. All of that hand work, the MMA fighting stuff that he works with Danny White.
Yeah, former Cowboy quarterback and Arizona State Sun Devil as well. Rudy Carpenter at quarterback.
I wonder if he said hello. Danny White
said hello to Rudy Carpenter.
Oh, a couple of ASU guys.
Yeah, in fact, I think he still lives out in Arizona. Danny does. He probably watched Rudy Carpenter play in college. Danny White, an analyst on the Cowboys Compass Radio Network, can be heard across the nation. There, look at this, career touchdowns. Aikman 165. Romo this year, given good health, should pass Staubach and Danny White and Troy Aikman on the Cowboys career touchdown list.
It's decided. Tony Romo is the greatest quarterback in Cowboys history. Goes back to my number thing.
The numbers don't lie.
Hey, very quickly, Danny White was a really good quarterback. It's a shame. He got him to the NFC Championship game, and he wasn't Roger and all that other good stuff, but man, he was good. And how about, you don't even have to take up a roster spot because he punted.
That's right. Andrew Zerber, the big tight end from Penn State, undrafted free agent. You know, Danny White was one of the more popular players on the team, even though he backed up the most popular player on the team in Roger Staubach because of his punting ability and the ability of him to run fake punts, throw out of it. And then after his career, and I think it's wrong the way White is looked at by some Cowboys fans anyway, because he didn't have the success on those conference championship games.
Well, you can blame Joe Montana for one of them.
There you go.
Oh, look at those yards there.
Yeah. Saw those numbers there as Dunbar carries. Romo is about 3 years away from reaching Troy Aikman in the passing yardage statistic.
Now, let me go back to that because I said the numbers don't lie when we were talking about it, and the numbers don't lie. I mean, Romo has put up some wonderful, incredible numbers statistically, but of course, Troy has put up some wonderful, incredible numbers championship-wise.
3. The only number that you care about?
The numbers don't
3.
lie. The numbers don't
3,
lie.
and they're sitting on his left hand?
I care about the 3, a diamond. 3 diamonds. The rings, the glitter. So hopefully Tony Romo will get in that category this year.
Salim Hakeem, the younger brother of Oz Hakeem, who played for many years with the Rams in the National Football League.
It's another guy. Had a conversation about him quite a bit with Marshall Faulk this week. Talking about it, Marshall Faulk said, this kid, watch this kid. He said he will come on.
Yeah.
And when this kid comes on, Dallas will have a special kind of a weapon here.
He's another guy that was hurt, but, I mean, he can fly. He can run by you when you know he's going to try to run by you. He has that kind of speed.
He was at Tarleton State. Let's go down to the sideline, Mickey Spagnola, with Sean Lee.
Sean Lee looks like a clean uniform. You're not used to being clean during a ball game, are you?
No, usually we're out there getting after it, but today some of the second guys, some of the younger guys are getting a chance and doing a great job.
So this defense has played, it seems like, pretty well. I know it's preseason, but you have to feel good about what you guys done in these 4 games.
Yeah, I think we've done a good job in camp preparing ourselves for the season. We've been trying to build that consistency, something we didn't have last year. I think we've built that foundation. Now it's time to build off that. It's going to take a lot more work, but I think we're taking the right steps.
We were talking after the last preseason game here at the stadium, and you were talking about consistency, and not just from game to game or quarter to quarter, but make sure you were consistent defensively, play to play.
Yeah, you know what? I think there were halves last year we played really well, and we'd come out in the second half and wouldn't finish it, or even quarter to quarter. We have to be consistent through 4 quarters of a game and be a dominant defense if we want to be a championship team, and that's what we're working towards.
And I would imagine all you have to do is put on the tape of those Giants games to remind you about the consistency.
Sure. If you look at the second half of the Giants game, especially the 4th quarter here in Dallas last year, we're up 11 points in 5 minutes. We're not able to finish that game. If you look at the first half of the Giants up there, we had a chance to go to the playoffs, a chance to beat them, and we started off really poor. We were able to pull it together a little bit in the second half, but it's that consistency you have to have that really hurt us.
What do you think's helped with the consistency? There's a few new players, different personnel on the field. Has that made a difference?
Well, I think the continuity of having Coach Ryan another year, learning his system being into the year, having the OTAs, having the mini camp to be able to prepare right for camp, and then having some players who are really, really talented, really good people who have come in and really, really helped our defense.
Okay, thank you very much. Sean Lee, Cowboys inside linebacker, and I would imagine, Michael, that's one guy you didn't want to cross the middle and run into.
Sony sounds of the game. Boy, you talk about a leader on that defense. Sean Lee is the man.
I was talking about that, Bill, and I just absolutely like the kid. You know, he's in his 3rd year, and he's talking about our young kids on the field right now. You know what I'm saying?
There's another mean green of North Texas, Jameis Olawale.
Because you know, Michael, those NFL years are like dog years, right? Every one counts for 7.
Counts for 7. You're absolutely right. But with guys like that are playing the way he's playing, and then talking the way he's talking, this is what I mean when I say the window, when they start talking about a window closing. This is the kind of guy, and these guys start showing up. They crack that window, they shatter that window, and they give the Dallas Cowboys another 8-year run, because this guy will be a top player in this league for the next 6, 7, 8 years.
Talking to his fellow Penn State linebacker there, Dan Connor, who the Cowboys picked up from Carolina. But yeah, when your best players are your leaders, you've got something.
Ooh, that one almost went the other way.
Yep. Should have. Wow. That would have been catastrophic. And getting back to it, Michael, when your best players are your hardest workers.
Right.
And I'm not because you're sitting next to me. It's well known. You, Troy Aikman, those guys, you know, you were the best players and you were the hardest workers, and it sets a tone for your entire team. And young guys come in and say, wow, okay, that's the way it's done.
Right. And if we don't do it that way, we won't be here long. So you see it perpetuate in a 4th quarter game like this, because the young guys are not just playing a 4th preseason game. They're playing to measure up to the guys that they got to walk over to that sideline and talk with.
That's one of the things that I've been most impressed with this Cowboys team and the way it's been put together. It's the tight players, and Jason Garrett talks that with the right kind of guy. I mean, there are serious-minded guys on this team that are very passionate about football.
Well, and I don't think it's any secret that Jason Garrett is drafting those types of players. And I know clearly it's a whole
DeMarco Murray on the offensive side.
DeMarco Murray, Tyron Smith.
5 minutes, 22 seconds. An incomplete pass. Start of the snap.
I also think that these guys are starting. I think a lot of the guys, DeMarcus Wares and all of these guys, these young guys are starting to really understand what it is and what it means to wear the star on the side of your helmet. a misunderstanding of it. Maybe you think at first, hey, we're going to be there just because of the star, and now you understand, boy, we're going to get the toughest game from everybody just because of the star, because everybody's tired of hearing about you are America's team.
There's Hakeem, who, by the way, didn't play high school football. He was a soccer player in Las Vegas.
I want to know who the football coach was there.
Yeah.
That didn't say, go out and watch a soccer game and say, hey, you know that kid that runs 4.2? Think we could get him out for the football team?
Let's do something with him.
Rudy Carpenter just kind of rushed that throw a little bit, Michael. It's not coming up for him, and now he's pressing a little bit. You can just see it. He's trying to make things happen instead of allowing them to happen.
And that's a dangerous thing in this league.
Ooh.
And the field goal by Dan Bailey is good, just inside the left upright. Cowboys lead it 30-13 with just over 5 minutes to play. Mo Claiborne. Yesterday here at Cowboys Stadium, the Cowboys held their annual Cowboys kickoff luncheon benefiting the Happy Hill Farm Academy. The Offensive Player of the Year was Tony Romo. Defensive Player of the Year, DeMarcus Ware. Ed Block Courage Award winner Tony Romo, and the Special Teams Player of the Year, Dan Bailey. For more information about Happy Hill Farm, log on to happyhillfarm.org. Bill Callahan, the Cowboys offensive coordinator, offensive line coach. The Cowboys now lead at 30-13, and the Dolphins, Marcus Thigpen with the return out to the 20-yard line.
And hats off to Bill Callahan. He didn't know what he was getting into when he got here, did he, Bill? Losing all of his players, having no centers. Cowboys lost 3 centers in training camp. And for them to come out and honestly perform as well as they did. Great pass protection against San Diego. Great last week against St. Louis with a real makeshift group. Testament to his coaching.
Dallas leads it 30-13. Your ticket to a winning season is back with the 2012 Dallas Cowboys scratch-off ticket from the Texas Lottery. Tickets on sale now. I wonder if Hollywood Henderson is rushing out to get one of those.
He doesn't need to.
How many times can you win the lottery?
Well, I didn't think you could win it once. I sure didn't think you could win it twice, but he has.
He was here when the alumni were here the other day at practice.
It looks slant and go, a little sluggo right there, babe. And you see, it looks like the run receiver and the quarterback kind of got off page there on that slant and go.
Michael, Tony Romo has said he is more excited about this season than any season he's been here with the Cowboys. You think there's reason for that kind of optimism?
Well, I think that he should be more excited for this season than any other season, because I don't remember any other season he had coming into the season this kind of running game that everybody was looking to. You know, prior to this, coming into the season, it was all about Tony Romo. Just about Tony Romo. There are people out there barking about DeMarco Murray. And for Tony Romo, that should be music to his ears.
And I still go back to last year, Michael. They went 1-4 down the stretch in their last 5 games. And, you know, without DeMarco Murray, obviously. And I just think he would have made such a big difference. And he made a big difference when he was playing, and when he was out, it hurt him.
And it was in that Giants game here at Cowboys Stadium. Early in that game, he went down with the injury.
Now, that being said, hey, there's injuries across the league,
right,
and they may lose him again this year. And you can't just say, well, there goes DeMarco, there goes our season.
And that's where your team has to be deep enough to be able to overcome those injuries, because the Giants had injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Patriots have injuries. Everybody's got injuries.
Yeah, but injuries to the wrong person can really derail a season. You know, the Giants can have a few injuries to a defensive lineman like OC when you got JPP and all of those guys. But if they lose an Eli, then they're in trouble. You see what I mean? Right. So and DeMarco for Dallas is equally important because they need the running game. They need the running game. They're not, Tony Romo and his pack, they're not going to just throw to a Super Bowl. They need the running game.
Kwesi Owusu-Ansah with that punt return for Dallas. Tonight's Sports Day Offensive Player of the Game. Well, how about Lance Dunbar of the University of North Texas? As Dunbar with 105 yards rushing on 15 carries and the 58-yard touchdown. Also had a 27-yard punt return. Nobody does sports like Sports Day. You're home for complete Dallas Cowboys coverage. Making it very interesting come cutdown day, and the roster cuts have to be in by 8 o'clock on Friday night Dallas time. Mays Olawale for about 7.
But that'll take place even a little bit earlier in terms of the Cowboys got to get right back out and practice
right away. Yeah, I mean Wednesday. This is basically Sunday for them, and so they take the next 2 days off. They'll report probably tomorrow that the regular day off is Friday, and then Saturday they treat it like a work week Wednesday, and they're back to work.
And the players got to bring people in tomorrow to shake some people's hands.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Bring them all the way in to shake hands.
They may be shaking hands after the game. It's happening that quickly. It's very rare. Of course, this is the first time that you've had a situation where NFL is starting the regular season on a Wednesday night rather than Thursday. And the reason they're doing it on Wednesday night is because of the Democratic Convention next week. And the president is scheduled to speak on Thursday night. So the NFL accommodated.
See, Michael never had to bring his playbook. Michael never got that coach wants to see him bring your playbook. But now, yeah, you never did.
See what you
now it's on an iPad. All the playbook.
We just throw that out.
The playbook, though, Michael, is now on the iPad. So all the players are given iPads.
You got to turn in your iPad?
You got to turn in your iPad.
No way I'm giving up my iPad.
I got in enough trouble when I never had to turn in my playbook. Thank God I never had to turn in my playbook.
I think they should give you the iPad as a parting gift. Now, just wipe off, clean off the plays.
Right.
Just scrub those off. But the iPad should be yours. Hey, thanks for being a part of the team for a while.
I had a guy that worked with me. He was an older gentleman, and I tried to give him an iPad for the company, and he said his legal pad works well. That's all I need. I said, okay, but ultimately I had to let him go because it works well for you, but I need you communicating with the rest of the world. You're a bit rigid here.
He said, look, well, I'll tell you what, I'll take that legal pad, I'll fold it up.
You can't email anybody.
You'll get my letter in 3 days. Uh-oh. Blow the whistle, yeah.
Automatic.
Wally's having problems with that helmet. Lost his helmet on 2 straight plays here.
Yeah, as soon as that helmet comes off now, changed that rule, or made that rule, I should say, a couple years ago. They did not blow it. They did not blow the whistle, that is. Right there, that's got to be blown because that's not going to be fun for you. Kind of the Jason Witten rule, if you will. Remember, he got his helmet taken off in Philadelphia, then ran about another 40 yards.
How many rules?
Cowboys?
That?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was about to say. That was the Emmett rule with the helmet off.
After a touchdown.
Every time anyone decides to use law of inertia, they call that the push-off. That's my goal. He's pushing people.
Yep.
It's
Roy Williams, horse collar.
Horse collar, Eric Williams, hand up under the face helmet. Head slide, starting on the chest and sliding up under the face. Sliding up under the face mask.
So I just mentioned Eric Williams. All of a sudden, I'm going back. I'm visualizing Eric Williams going up against Reggie White. Those were some battles. And I really thought Eric played him about. I mean, it's hard to say. Hey, I dominated Reggie White, but he played him about as well as any lineman in the league.
Yep. He was the one that gave everybody a little confidence that maybe Reggie White, even though he prays to God, is not a God. You know what I'm saying? That was the first indication.
There were times when he made guys feel like they were going to meet their maker, though.
Like he was praying to himself when he came across that line of scrimmage. That's what Reggie.
This presentation of Dallas Cowboys football has been brought to you by Pepsi, official soft drink of the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL. Papa John's, the official pizza of the Dallas Cowboys. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. And by American Airlines. Travel to over 250 cities in 50 countries on American Airlines.
We're down to the final 2 minutes of the preseason. 1 week away from the regular season opener. The Cowboys leading the Miami Dolphins 30-13. As Rudy Carpenter at quarterback for Dallas. On the 48-yard line. Jabez Olawale into the secondary, making like Lance Dunbar.
Boy, that's
and there was his helmet again.
It did start well, but it ended up pretty good because you watch his handoff. That was I don't know what you call that. That was a pass handoff. That was that handoff.
Does he get credit?
Is that a pass?
Get credit for a completed pass? Nah, it went backward, unfortunately. Yeah, Olawale either needs a larger head or a smaller helmet. One of the two. That thing just pops off on impact.
Really
it's like the Rock'em Sock'em robots, where the head just popped right off.
And before that carry, 6 carries, 50 yards to go with 105 for the fellow North Texas Eagle, Lance Dunbar. The Reliant Bring the Energy Defensive Player of the Game.
Who got your vote, Bill Jones?
I think the Oklahoma State Cowboy gets my vote. That would be one Ori Lemon, number 58, with a 25-yard interception return for the touchdown. Save with Reliant. eCents cashback nights and weekends plan. Call 1-866-RELIANT. You like this formation. And there's Ori Lemon. Now, we see who makes the team.
I don't care how many times you go through it. I don't care if you're a team coming off of a Super Bowl win or a team coming off a 1-15 season. They get into that room, those coaches and those personnel people, and they become those last 5 guys are hard. Doesn't matter again what kind of team you have. Those last 5 guys are hard, trying to figure out who to keep and who not to, Michael.
And usually in there you got some guys that just been busting their butt, and I've always said, and I say to kids all the time, it's hard for a coach to cut the guy that's working harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
He will find a place for you, and usually that's what you see up in this area. You start seeing players like, oh. But then to that, talent won't only be the determining factor on who wins these jobs. It'll be some of that stuff. Hey, these guys were close. This guy played, he goes hard all the time. Maybe this guy takes a little break here and there, and they'll take the guy that works hard all the time.
And then in some cases, it's just a numbers game.
Yep.
Well, and I know this too, Michael. Sometimes you say, well, who do those guys matter to? These guys won't. Those last 5 guys, they're not going to amount to anything. Well, guess what? Miles Austin was one of those last 5 guys once upon a time as a free agent. Tony Romo was one of those guys as a free agent coming out. They can become something other than people think they're going to be, that's for sure.
Right place, right time, and confidence to take you a long place in this league.
All right, we're back to wrap up this preseason. 30-13 Dallas over Miami. Now this from your local station.